Hello. Happy... Oh my god, what day is it today? Wednesday. I think. I'm pretty sure. Hello. I am tired for whatever reason, but I hope you're all doing good. I hope your week has been okay. I hope it's been fine. Let me say hello to everyone before I forget. Hello, Blood. Hello, Laika. Congrats on first. Hello, Zero. Thank you for the sub. Thank you for the 3 months. I appreciate it. Hello, Irom. Hello, Rising. Tiramisu. The redeem still hasn't broken yet, which is good. So no one is getting a $sign menu item just yet. And hello, Austin. Baumkuchen making stream when? I have never had Baumkuchen, so I wouldn't even know how to make it. I'm sorry. I always want to eat it, but there is no dairy-free options near me, so unfortunately, wah wah wah. I'm doing horrible. My vacation is over. No, mine too. Mine too. It sucks a little bit. It's been okay these past. What has it been? 2 weeks? Yeah. Oh, 1.5 weeks. I would take some dollars. Me too. I still don't know how much money I have in my bank account because I still don't have access to it. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna have to go to the bank tomorrow and hopefully sort it out. Otherwise, I'm gonna cry. Are you vegan? Yes. I've been eating plant-based since, like, I don't know, 2023? Something like that. It's been a while, I think. 2024? No, I'm not sure anymore. Something like that. Also, thank you for the 30 stream watch streak. Thank you. Rising, that's a lot. That might be the most that I've seen on this channel so far. What happened? Did you lose your cards or something? I broke my old phone, and then I didn't have access to my online banking, and then I got a new phone, and then technically you have to add new phones or new devices through your existing online banking access, but since my phone was broken, I reset the app, and I was like, okay, delete all the devices, and then I couldn't add anything back in there. And usually you can just have them send you a letter with a QR code to set it back up again on a new device if you like lost your old device or whatever. But they have my old address, and so all the letters have been going into the void because I don't live there anymore. And I called them and I was like, hey, I think the letters aren't arriving because they're going to the wrong address. And they're like, yeah, they are. They are going to the wrong address. And they're like, yeah, we could fix this over the phone, but then it would take 30 days for the letters to arrive to your place. And I'm like, what the fuck? They're like, oh yeah, you know, right after changing your address, we can't send you any verification letters or stuff like that. And I'm like, well, man, this fucking sucks. So now I have to either wait 30 days or I have to go to the bank and ask them to print it out for me in the bank, which is a little silly because they could just send it to me knowing my new address, but they don't believe that I'm me, I suppose. It's kind of silly. Anyway, very annoying. But I'm using the opportunity that I'm gonna go out tomorrow to also get my hair cut. I haven't had my hair cut in like, what, 6 months? And it looks a little crazy. So I'm using it as an excuse to cut it all off. It's going. Unfortunately, the model will not lose its hair, but you know. I've been vegetarian my whole life. I've been trying to cut down on dairy. I mostly use soy milk now, but cheese. I actually don't even miss cheese. Like, out of all the things that I don't eat anymore, the only thing that I really do miss is eggs. I love sunny side up eggs. Oh, but yeah, I got over cheese pretty quickly, actually. There's pretty good dairy-free cheese. It's pretty nice. I like it. It's very creamy. Amazing sequence of occurrences to inconvenience. It's been a rough month. Let's just put it that way. It's okay. We'll get it fixed. We'll get it sorted out. Also, hello, Roxora. Hope you're doing good today. I am doing pretty good. It is very warm today. I say very warm, but it's only 6 degrees Celsius. But we went from -10 almost to positive 6 degrees Celsius, which is quite a difference. So now I feel like I'm very warm and I don't like it, even though it's not that much. It's not that much. It's not that warm. But it's warm enough for me to be inconvenienced by it, or annoyed, rather. I haven't had a haircut since COVID. It has been a long time. How long is your hair now? Is it like... COVID has been... It's been a lot of years. How long would it be? I think during COVID, or like before that, I think I cut my own hair a little bit because I didn't want to go to the hairdresser. I always feel silly going to the hairdresser, like they're gonna judge me because I look like an idiot, okay? Because I just wear like the loosest clothing that I could find. I don't wear makeup and I just look a little bit like a bum. So I go there and I ask for them, please cut my hair, and then I look like an idiot walking out of there. That's what I feel like. Maybe it's not that bad, but I definitely feel like an idiot when I walk in there and I'm like, oh, can you please cut my hair that I haven't touched in like 6 months? And then they style it and I'm like, yeah, thank you. It's never gonna look like this ever again because I'm just gonna wash my hair and roughly dry it and that's it. I always feel bad. I saw some vegan cheese recipes I want to try making. I did make like some cheese, vegan cheese, quote unquote cheese, fondue, whatever you call it. And it was quite nice. I liked it, but it doesn't really taste like cheese. You know, it's kind of hard to replicate cheese. Yeah, I don't know. Also, hello, Panis. Hi. Hope you're doing good today. It's 3 degrees Celsius here today and minus 22. What? That is a big jump. Holy shit. That's incredible. I don't think I've ever had over like minus 12. I think I've had over minus 10, but not less, I guess would be the correct term. Not less than that. It's upper chest level. I think it's reached its terminal level. Upper chest. I mean, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. A friend of mine has like, oh my god, how long is his hair? Like midway to his back? I don't know. He always has it in a ponytail, but it's pretty long. I think it's quite nice. I don't know. He always keeps it in a ponytail, and so it's kind of hard to judge, but it looks nice. So if you like your hair long, I mean, why not keep it that way? Welcome to Canada. Yeah, I guess so. I should visit my family in Canada. I haven't ever done that because I don't want to speak French, first of all. Also, I think it would be a little too cold, maybe. I do like the cold, but that would maybe be a bit too much. But yeah, I started reading a book yesterday. Oh my god, I know, it's crazy. I started reading the book that I bought months ago, Mistborn. I forgot the author. Hold on. We can find that out very quickly. Mistborn by... what the hell's his name? Brandon Sanderson. And I read the first, like, 15 pages. It's... I don't know. So far, it's not a lot, okay? It's like 15 pages out of 600 whatever. So it's kind of hard to judge it yet. But so far, I kind of feel like it is not really quite what I would usually read. And therefore, I'm a little bit unsure on how I feel about it. It's like, yeah, it's fine. So far, it hasn't hooked me in like the, I don't know, the prologue. I don't know. Maybe that'll happen. I've reached chapter 1, so maybe after chapter 1 I will feel differently. I haven't read a proper book with just pages of text in a long time. I used to read light novels, but now, like the past few years, I've just read manga, so it's a very different feeling from going to, you know, from having just like conversation between two characters or like more characters to full-on like explanations of characters and having to imagine the scenarios in your head. Is like, oh, okay. But we'll see. I also ordered a bunch of other light novels, which has been a struggle, I have learned. A lot of the light novels that I want to read are either not being printed anymore, or they are extremely expensive to get, or they are sold out. Yeah, stuff like that. It's been a little bit rough. And then I did find some stuff that I wanted to read. And then I ordered it on a website where I read German people saying, don't order from there ever. It's horrible. And then I did. And I regretted it. and then I had to fight to cancel the order. It was an eventful night last night. But I did get the order canceled this morning, finally, and I just ordered the stuff from Amazon. I hate buying stuff from Amazon, but god damn it. German booksellers, bookstores, awful. I can't really recommend it. It's not been a pleasant experience to order from them anyway. Yeah, it's the Mistborn is pretty popular. I mean, I think the guy has like won awards, and like in the book he's like titled one of the best fantasy authors, whatever, and I was like, wow, cool. Yeah, it feels it's fine for now. I will say that it's okay. You should read Once Upon a Broken Heart. I've never heard of that. I will write it down. I have gotten some books recommended to me that I did order, and I'm gonna go through those as well. It's gonna take me a long time. I'm a very slow reader if I'm not reading it out loud. Prologue feels a bit detached. Maybe it'll feel better after I read chapter 1. What light novels are you gonna read? I bought the Apothecary Diaries light novels. I heard Nua say that the words, like in English, I'm gonna read it in English, which is gonna be a challenge. Nua said that a lot of the words in the novel are kind of difficult to understand, and you probably haven't heard a lot of them. I think my cat is in my room, yes. So I'm a little bit scared of that. And then, oh god, what else did I order? I ordered, oh god, do I have my other phone here? I do. Hold on, I can tell you. I ordered one that is no longer being printed, which is a little bit sad because it looked kind of interesting. It's called... hold on. The Empty Box and Zeroth Maria, Maria, whatever. And it looks very interesting, but they only have 3 volumes here in Germany that I can order. So I'm gonna have to get the other ones digitally and then read the other 4 are digitally, and then the 3 that I can order physically, I will. What else? Beep, 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 beep. And then this isn't a light novel, but I bought Love Bullet. I bought the Frieren Chapter 0, which is a light novel. Then I wanted to buy the Seraph of the End light novels. And then from the anime that I watched on Netflix last night, what is it called? Shiboyugi? Shiboyugi, is that it? Yes. Playing Death Games to Put Food on the Table is the English name. That also has a light novel. And then I also saw Ascendance of a Bookworm, which looked very interesting, and 86. So those are the ones that I'm interested in. And I'm gonna get as many as I can, because they all looked very cool. Mistborn Hollywood production right now. Ooh, interesting. Spooky Reads as bedtime stories ASMR when that's basically me reading Higurashi, you know? Isn't that the same vibe? It's another German owl. Hello, Miyomo. Hi, hope we're doing good. Hoot hoot or something. That Maria one has a lot of interesting tags. It does. I saw the tags and what people were saying about it, and they were like, this is such a mindfuck. It's so fucking weird. And I was like, okay, this is right on my alley then. I like the weird stuff. But people were talking very positively about it, so I'm excited to read it. It's a shame that it's no longer being printed and that it's hard to get the copies for. Hello, Derek! Hi, hope you're doing good today. I also finished Pluribus yesterday, and I was talking to Rising about it, and I think we both agreed that it was good, but it wasn't as good as I was expecting it to be. I think I'm a little bit disappointed with the pace of the show. It was very slow-paced, which I'm usually not too mad about as long as the characters make decent progress in whatever it is that they're trying to do, and I feel like none of that happened. It was good, but it didn't knock me off my couch, you know what I mean? I liked it, but not as much as Severance. Yeah, I feel the same way. Severance was fucking peak. Kino, okay, that was amazing. And Pluribus that was alright. It's definitely worth a watch, but I wouldn't put it on my list as like one of my favorite shows ever. I still need to finish Better Call Saul. I really like that show. That one was really good. So I can recommend that one. You should. It's good. And the actress from Pluribus is in there too. You know, obviously, I'm assuming that's why you're mentioning it. But yeah, she's pretty cool. I like her. I feel like it gets a lot of back and forth, which is fine given the story. Yeah, I felt like they didn't make any progress towards like uncovering the mystery. And like we as the viewers, I feel like I didn't learn anything about what is really going on. Like only bits and pieces, but nothing that really felt like a revelation or stuff that I couldn't have pieced together myself. I don't know. It was a little bit disappointing given what I've heard about it. It wasn't my cup of tea. But yeah, I think that's everything. I bought a few of the books, no, all of the books that Nue recommended to me actually. I'm looking forward to them arriving here. I bought This Monster Wants to Eat Me, the first volume. What else did I buy? I think, oh yeah, and another Obari no Seraph volume. Hell yeah. It was a good day of buying books. It was a little bit embarrassing. Like I went to a physical bookstore to see if they could order some stuff for me so I don't have to order it online. They couldn't for most of the titles that I wanted to. But it was kind of embarrassing telling them the manga and light novel titles. I was like, I'm sorry, these are kind of weird. And the cashier was like, yeah, don't worry. I know, with manga and stuff like that, they have some pretty long and very weird titles. I get it. But it was still embarrassing. But it was a nice experience. Yuri, hell yeah! I've been meaning to read it for a while, and it's finally being translated into German, which makes it so much easier and so much cheaper to buy here. But I do want to have a nice mix of German and English stuff, so I unfortunately have to pay like almost double the price if it's in English, which is a little stupid, but it is what it is. It's worse if you bought isekais, yeah. Some of the light novels that people had recommended in the subreddit were, I think, not just some, like the majority of light novels people recommended were isekais, actually. And I'm not personally too interested in the genre, so I'm like, But the titles that people wrote down, I was like, oh my, that's so long. It's so long. It's very funny. I think this one is still pretty normal, but I think that time I got reincarnated as a slime or whatever it's called, I think that's just such a weird title, and it's the one that's just constantly in my brain. I'm so over isekai. I've never really been too into it. Like, I watched a few of isekais. I don't know. I feel very lukewarm about them. The one that I mentioned before, like Ascendance of a Bookworm, it's technically an isekai. And I don't care for the isekai aspect, but I think the overall story sounds fine and good, I guess. It's interesting enough anyway. I just feel like sometimes authors use the whole isekai thing to not have to do too much, I don't know, character building. It's kind of strange. I don't know how to really explain it. In this case, it's like a college student that like dies and gets reincarnated as a 5-year-old. And I'm like, okay, couldn't you have just made like an extraordinarily smart 5-year-old with high ambitions and like flesh out the character a bit more instead of just having it be a college student that was reborn as a 5-year-old? I don't know. I feel like I would have preferred it to be not an isekai and have the character be a little bit more fleshed out and be more interesting than just a college student that got ported there for whatever reason. I don't know. I filter isekais whether I think they're gonna do something interesting with the isekai, not just some second chance thing. Yeah, I just think it's a little bit silly, and I'm very over it. And when I read it, it kind of makes me feel a little bit less interested in whatever it is, but I am willing to give some of them a chance if they sound interesting enough. It's just kind of hard to get over that initial hurdle, I guess. Yeah, a lot of them do end up being kind of same in terms of like world building and like the main character kind of just being a very random OP person that just, I don't know, fights through whatever is happening there. It's kind of strange, and I'm not personally too into it, but I know that people really like it. I guess I prefer other stuff, and that's okay. I don't want to yap for too long, but I did do a lot of research as to how I'm gonna be playing Umineko after we finish Higurashi, because there's a lot of discussion around what translation and what version of Umineko you're supposed to play. A lot of people were like, Umineko Project is the only way, the best way to play it, and I'm like, okay. But the thing about Umineko Project is that you can't have the original Ryukishi sprites, which is a big shame to me, because I've come to really, really love the Ryukishi sprites. They are a tiny bit goofy, you know, they look a little silly at times, but they have soul, you know, I get what people mean when they say that. I do really like them. I think they do have soul, and they just do something with me, okay? I really like them. And, the version that I have decided to play is just the 7th mod, which doesn't really change anything in regards to the translation, but it just uses the official, what is it like called, Witch Hunt translation, which people either really love or hate. It's apparently very literal, too literal, in fact, in some places, to like try to have that Ryukishi writing quirk be present as much as possible. And I guess I don't mind that too much. I think we'll be fine reading that, even if it's not as well localized as the other translation would be. I think we'll be okay. We won't die. I'd imagine there's really well built mod options for Umineko like Higurashi. It seemed worse, actually. I don't know. The Aeolus, hi. Aeolus says yeah, but from what I've read, I'm just kind of upset that you can't mix and match. I can't have the Ryukishi sprites with the translation that I'd like to play. I can only have them with the original translation. And it's a little bit of a shame, because I feel like I can do more things with the 7th mod for Higurashi than I can for Umineko. And I can either play the console, like the PS3 port, or not port, working version for the PC, let's just call it that, and just use the console sprites, or I can just throw all of that away and play the most original experience that you can get if you don't speak Japanese, I guess. Yeah, I think with the 7th mod, you can still switch between the sprites, but you can't have the other translation. You can only have the one translation, because it doesn't give you any other options. Not that it's different for Higurashi, I just think the original translation for Higurashi is just, I guess, good enough, or there isn't another one, so people don't really complain about that or discuss it too much. But for Umineko, there was so much discussion around it, and I was just like, okay, I put more value on the sprites than I do on the translation, because at the end of the day, it gets the story across no matter what translation I use, and even if it's a bit stiff and literal, I think we can get through it. I think Higurashi is also a little bit stiff and literal in certain places, so I think it'll be okay. If I do end up changing my mind, I guess you'll see when we start playing it, but I did decide for now that I'll just be playing the original translation so that we can have the Ryukishi sprites. But that is still a few months in the future. I don't even know if I'll play it right after we finish Higurashi. Probably. Need something to fill the void, I guess. But we'll see. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. A lot of literature talk. But let's actually switch to the game. Man, it's been like 25 minutes of me yapping. I'm sorry. There we go. wrong one. This one and this. Thank you for the head pat. Are you interested in other visual novels? Yes. I haven't decided which I want to play on stream yet. But there's a lot that I'm interested in. Goodness. I just have to make... Oh god, I chose the wrong thing. Oh, just have to pick and choose which ones I do actually want to play on stream. Also, thank you for the hydrate. I will hydrate. I have to let my cat out of my room. Otherwise, he's going to go crazy and destroy everything. So give me 1 second. Incredible. I open the door and he just sits in front of the door and doesn't leave, even though he was going insane and meowing, and he's like, let me out, let me out, a second ago. This fucking cat is driving me insane. Even if Tempest, maybe. I do want to make a list of VNs that I want to play. I don't know. I find it cool to have at least one VN in rotation, even if it's a short one. We will see. But yeah, the cat has recovered well. He's doing good. He got his last shot of painkillers yesterday, I think. So yeah, he doesn't seem to be in any pain. He doesn't drool with blood in it. You know, his drool is no longer a reddish brown color. So that's good. We're gonna start feeding him some dry food so the, what is it, like the buildup on his teeth can, you know, be I don't know, what do you call it? Destroyed, can be destroyed. Something like that. He wants the option to leave. Exactly. It's always like that. My one cat, I have two. My one cat does not like when the doors are closed. She doesn't even want to leave the room. She just wants the door to be open. She doesn't want to enter the room. She just wants it to be open. Obliterate it from existence. Exactly. Exactly that. Wiped from the face of this planet. I feel kind of bad for him. He only has... I think that was like his last tooth on like, what was it? The right side. The upper row of teeth. He only has some on the left side now. And on the front, of course. But none on the right side anymore. My little baby is gonna be toothless. Isn't that the name of the dragon from How to Train Your Dragon? That's exactly what my cat looks like too. Wait, hold on. Toothless? It is! That's exactly how my cat looks too. Goodness. But Toothless has teeth. Doesn't seem like Umimods have any toggleable stuff or much customization as Higu. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate, and I was a little bummed out about it, but, you know, gotta pick and choose, I guess. Yeah. Alright, get him veneers. Sure. I'm sure that exists for cats somewhere. My cat has one chipped tooth and I have no idea how it happened. Cats are kind of silly. My one cat actually bit into my laptop screen before, so I just had like a cat tooth marked hole in my laptop screen. It didn't break the screen, funny enough, but it was a little dumb. And I don't know why they did that. Cats are a little strange. They will eat stuff they know will make them throw up and will poison them. And they will just eat stuff. I don't know. My cats, when they're hungry, they will start eating everything. They will start biting metal, biting wood, biting plants, biting screens, cables, everything. They're awful. They're like little devils. And it's not like they haven't eaten all day. They're like, oh, you haven't fed me in 2 hours. It's time to kill you. Time for Spooky to make the mod of her dreams. I should learn how to do that. I would make so many people happy. So many people in the Umineko community would be so happy to have the Umineko project with the original Ryukishi sprites. That's the only thing that I want. Okay, let me drink. Okay. Drink one more sip of water and then we can start reading. I was get attacked by the cat. Oh yeah. He loves to do that. Okay. I kind of forgot what happened last time. We saved Sadako. We had the Watanagashi festival. Takano did not die. She, in fact, killed Tomitake, who died very painfully, as always. Takano was revealed to be the super villain who is behind, the death of Tomitake at the very least. She has kind of betrayed Irie and the research. They have been trying to set the bomb off, as she called it. The Hinamizawa Great Disaster is probably caused by her, since that seems to be her end goal anyway. And I think that's where we left off too. I think Rika talked to the weird mountain dogs guy and then also to Irie, and she started suspecting Takano. Yeah, I'm gonna guess that soon enough, she's unfortunately gonna get killed. I hope not. I really hope she won't get killed, but I do have a feeling that Takano's gonna succeed in making the bomb go off, basically. Kickstarter and we make our own Umineko mod. Trust. Yeah, me having absolutely no programming or translation skills. Let's fucking go. All right, that was that. And I think nothing else happened after. I think we're still within the same chapter too. So, the bomb was in chapter 6. Well, you know what I mean. The gas bomb. I don't know. Not a literal bomb. Hey, this will have you experience Hinamizawa syndrome L5 stage kind of stuff. That type of bomb. So now we're in school.
それで、渡流しの晩にはもう失踪していたらしいんだよ。
Yeah, she's been missing since the night of Watanagashi, and I need to up the volume.
お社様のたたりかな。
Could it be the curse of Oyashiro-sama?
さすがに5年も連続すると薄気味悪いよな。
It's freaky that this has happened 5 years in a row now. Hinamizawa is a small village. Rumors spread fast here. Besides, she's Mion Sonozaki. She would have found out about this yesterday even if the police were trying to hide it. My friends were all talking about the mysterious death of Tomitake and the disappearance of Takano. People in this village are very superstitious. Superstitious. No matter what happens, they conclude that everything is the curse of Oyashiro-sama. The past incidents don't matter to me either way. All I'm interested in is the current one. The culprit of this case will probably kill me too. Animated CGs, but no toggable older sprites. And 7th has the other sprites and all, but no lip syncing and animated CGs that Umineko Project has. Yeah, I personally really like the Ryukishi sprites. I've grown to really love them. I think they just give the whole visual novel a different style. Like, I started off playing with the console sprites, and now I can't even think about playing that way anymore. Like, it just doesn't feel right. I don't know. I guess I just prefer the old school style. I like the old backgrounds and the old sprites. It just kind of gives me that, I don't want to say retro. I hate using that word to describe stuff like this. It's just old and it's nice. I don't know. I like it. 2 days have passed since Watanagashi. Today is Tuesday, June 21st, 1983. At the earliest, I'll get killed on the night of the 22nd. That is tomorrow night. The day of my death is always different. I always end up getting killed, but the day when it happens varies. I guess the culprit has their own reasons for that. There's only one thing I'm sure about. Based on my experiences, I'll live for sure until tomorrow night. After then, I'll have to live with the fear of getting murdered at any point. That's a lovely life to live. Yeah, I do agree the console sprites for Umineko look really good. But I I still like the Umineko sprites. I do think that I prefer the Higurashi sprites, but I haven't looked at the Umineko sprites for too long. I only saw them while like looking it up very quickly to have like a general idea and comparison. But yeah, I do want to, yes, I want to have the authentic experience, I guess. Something like that. Still, there's no real reason to be afraid. When I wake up, I'll be in a brand new world again. I can never remember how I'm killed. That's why I'm not that afraid of the killing itself. I'm just frustrated that my life is about repeating the same things over and over like a broken record. At least it doesn't go that far back into the past. Also not attached to the Umi characters yet. Babyface Batra, love him. I am very excited to learn more about the characters. I always see the memes, you know? And I can't wait to actually understand the memes and be like, oh, I get it. Wow, it's so funny. Right now, I'm just enjoying the memes and the silly interactions the characters have without having any background as to why. That would be fitting. However, at present, I'm frustrated. My classmates just expect that their peaceful days will continue forever, but I couldn't feel that way. I feel frustrated and full of sorrow, as I really don't want to die.
明日の夜ですが、リカは悔いがありませんですか?
It's tomorrow night. Are you ready, Rika?
バカ。
How foolish of you to even ask.
ないわけないでしょ。
What makes it look like I am? Hanya was trying to warn me that I might get killed tomorrow night, as though she already knew it was going to happen for sure.
リカはとてもよく頑張りました。
You worked very hard, Rika.
そして今年の綿流しは僕が生きてきた中でも一番の楽しいお祭りでした。
This slice Watanagashi was the best festival I've ever had.
それはリカもだったのではないですか?
Didn't you feel that way too? It was fun. It really was fun. Satoko had band-aids all over her face, but everyone was there together, and we kicked up a storm. I want this world to continue forever. I can't accept that. This world is going to end tomorrow at the earliest, and within 1 or 2 weeks at the latest.
また次の世界でもきっと楽しくできますのですよ。
Hello, Amadis. Welcome in. Hope you're doing good. I don't want to work either. We got this. Only 2 more days. I'm sure your next life will be just as
この
fun.
世界はもう終わりなの。
So this world is over and done with?
こんなにも楽しい世界なのに。もう終わりなの。
This is such a happy world, but it's just going to end like that? All of my friends are alive and happy. Keiichi doesn't feel alone, and Rena's family is happy too. Mion and Shion are getting along, as well as Shion and Satoko. The issue of Satoko's uncle is resolved, and she's no longer treated coldly by the other villagers. This is the best world I've ever experienced. But this world is going to end.
リカ、僕たちは特別な存在なのに、リカは自分のことを普通の人間として考えすぎなのです。
Hello, Yaya. Hope you're doing good today. Why are they saying the world is over? You know how Hanyu is. She's in today's day and age, you could say that she's a doom scroller, doom thinker, something like that. A doomer. What do you call them? But yeah, since the day that Rika dies is usually tomorrow, they're expecting her to die because, you know, I guess she couldn't prevent Tomitake from getting killed, and in her belief, Takano also is dead. The voice actresses are so good. I love them. But yeah, she will either die, I think tomorrow at the earliest is what she said. Yeah, tomorrow at the earliest and within 1 or 2 weeks at the latest. Which is not a long time. Rika, you think of yourself as a normal person too often when we're both special beings.
楽しいパーティーがいつまでも続けばいいのにと子供の誰もが願う。
Every child wants their birthday party to continue
で
forever.
もいつかパーティーはお開きになりますのです。
But the party always ends. So, Rika's life is just a birthday party, apparently.
だから子供たちは楽しい瞬間をどうか永遠に続いてほしいと願うのです。
That's why children always wish for their enjoyable moments to continue for all time.
でもだからといって終わったパーティーを嘆くことはない。
But that doesn't mean they'll grieve over a party that's ended.
眠ればまた明日の朝になる。
Once they sleep, another day will come for them.
そしてまたいろいろと楽しいことが起こるのです。
Something wonderful will happen again.
パーティーが終われば消えてしまうシンデレラなんかいない。
No one disappears like Cinderella once the party is over.
私の性への固執をそんな風に例えられるなんて知らなかったわ。
What a way for you to describe my view on life.
今のリカはパーティーから帰りたくないと泣いて椅子にしがみつく子供と同じなのです。
You're like a child who's crying because she doesn't want to leave the party. I get her point, but I feel like it's quite a bit more dramatic than that. Unfortunately, she's getting killed. She doesn't even get to have a normal life and a next day. A normal day. She doesn't get any of that. Yeah, birthday party is comparable to dying over hundreds of times in actual fun times instead of suffering and pain to continue. Exactly. That's exactly it. I mean, I get the point she's trying to make, but also, it's not very comparable. Not this example anyway.
どうして泣いたり悲しんだりする必要が？
But there's no need to feel sad, is there?
またパーティーはやってきます。
There'll be another party again soon.
リカは死を越すことを未だに忌み嫌っているけれど、僕たちにとっては一眠りのまたぎだというのに。
You still hate to go through another death, but it's only like sleeping for a while, isn't it?
羽生は昭和58年の6月より先に何があるのか見たくないの？
Hanyu, don't you want to see what lies beyond June of 1983?
見たくないと言えば嘘になりますです。
I would be lying if I said I didn't.
でもそれに固執して裏切られ傷ついてゆくリカの方が心配なのです。
But I'm more concerned about you being consumed by that thought and getting hurt because of it.
リカには分かってない。
You just don't understand.
気の遠くなるほどの長い時間を誰とも会話することができず、楽しい祭りもじっと眺めているだけ。子供たちの遊ぶ輪を横で眺めていることしかできない悲しさなんてわからない。
Without you, I'd have to live for such a long time without anyone to talk to, and I'd only be able to stare at the festival without being a part of it.
誰にも私の姿が見えない。
No one will be able to see me.
誰にも私の声が届かないし、誰も私に話しかけてはくれない。
No one will be able to hear me or talk to me either.
そんな辛さや悲しさがリカに想像つきますのですか？
Do you have any idea how miserable and lonely that will be?
その中でやっと出会えたリカなのです。
But I finally found you, Rika.
僕はリカがいなかったら生きていけない。
I can't survive without you anymore.
でもリカのように死ねもしないのです。
But I can't just die like you can either.
僕は時の果てまで一人ぼっちで生きていかなくてはならない。
I'll have to live alone until the end of time.
新しいあなたが現れるまでずっと膝を抱いて一人で過ごしていかなくてはならない。
I'll have to be alone until someone like you shows up again. I wonder how it works for her anyway. Like, is it just people from the Urure family that can see her? Because if that's the case, it's kind of hard to find another member of that family if the only one remaining is gonna die soon. Hello, Noelle. Hope you're doing good today.
僕はそんなのは嫌なのです。
I don't want that.
絶対に嫌なのです。
I can't stand the thought of it.
羽生
だからリカ、あの悲しい約束を取り消してほしいのです。
Rika, please take back that heartbreaking promise you made.
この世界でも運命に打ち勝てなかったらもう全てを諦めるというあの約束を取り消してほしいのです。
I don't want you to give up this world if it doesn't work out for you. Hello, Skib. Hi, we're doing good today. Yes, I've been streaming so early nowadays. I hope work and stuff is going well for you. Hello, Aeolus. I already said hello to you. Wow, that's confusing if you redeem it now. Also, hello, Kuro. I haven't said hello to you.
羽生、ごめん。もう少しだけ、その返事を待たせて。
Hanyu, I'm sorry. I'll have to think about it for a while. I want to do what I can until the end. When that happens, I can't decide what to do. If I think there's still some hope, I can go on living. But if I feel so desperate enough, I can just give up. It might not ultimately be a bad thing to repeat June of 1983 over and over. Perhaps I might be blessed with another fortunate life someday. Hanyu nodded with a little satisfaction after hearing that, sensing my feelings were starting to lean the way she wanted them. It would be sad if she just gave up.
どうしたよ、レナ。
I forgot my check and it's okay. What's up,
リ
Rena?
カちゃんをお持ち帰りする算段でもしてるのか？
Are you plotting to take Rika-chan home with you?
ねえ、圭一くん。リカちゃんに元気がないとは思わないかな。
Hey, Keiichi-kun, don't you think that Rika-chan seems to be feeling down?
どうだろうな。
I don't know.
奉納演舞の疲れが抜けないんじゃないのか？
She might still be tired from doing the dedication dance at the festival. Oh no, this sprite makes me feel so sad. Hello, Nue. Hope you're doing good today. Hi. I ordered the books that you recommended to me. I look forward to reading them soon. I also started reading the Mistborn book that I bought a long time ago. It's like over 600 pages, which is a lot for my first book, but hey, I already read 15 of those. So we're making progress. Yes, I'm committing. We're gonna go strong this year. We're gonna read. Rika-chan was sitting all by herself wearing a sad expression. I'd said she might still be tired from the festival, but that wasn't really how it looked.
さとこちゃんが解放されて踊り上がってもいいくらいなのに。
Satoko-chan is free now, so I thought she'd have a spring in her step.
なんだか昨日からリカちゃんの様子がおかしいように思うの。
But she's been acting weird since yesterday.
悩み事でもあるんじゃないかな。
I wonder if something is going on.
てっぺの件は完全に決着したはずだろ。
Satoko's issues are all settled now.
リカちゃんが悩むような問題は何もないはずだぜ。
There shouldn't be anything that's troubling her anymore. We thought Satoko and Rika-chan might not be able to live together if they found a new guardian for Satoko. But that problem is almost solved. Either the Sonozaki family or the Kimiyoshi family will become her guardian. Mayor Kimiyoshi is already Rika's guardian. If the Sonozaki family gets custody, Satoko will officially become Shion's little sister. It's kind of cute that they would even consider that. I think that's lovely. Can I recommend a book too? Y'all should check out House of Leaves. I think someone recommended that to me before. It's been a few years since I heard that name. Hold on. Oh my god, it even looks familiar. I don't know why. I'm gonna write it down. I do definitely want to check out the stuff that people recommend to me. So let me add that to the list. Thank you. It's a crazy book. It makes me upset, but it's so intriguing. Okay, that makes it sound very interesting. I have to check it out then. Thank you. Anyway, I had no idea why Rika-chan was acting so upset.
こういう時は声をかけてみるのが一番じゃねえのか。
I think we should ask her what's going on.
それがかえってデリカシーがない時もあるし。
But I don't want her to think that we're insensitive.
でも、圭一くんなら大丈夫だと思うかな。
But I guess you can ask her, I guess.
それはつまり、
Wow.
俺にデリカシーがないっていう意味だな。
So you're saying that it's okay for me to be insensitive. I guess so. I guess that's what we're just used to from him now. The Kite Runner is my favorite read till now. I'm gonna write everything down. I haven't heard of that one yet, I don't think. The Kite Runner. It looks interesting, just from judging the cover, but you know, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover or whatever. Gotta write it down, thank you. It reminds me of Fata Moru. What is that? Oh, that one. Is it the House of Fata I don't know how to pronounce it in English. Fata Morgana? Mm-hmm. Did I buy that one? I think I did. Oh yeah, I did buy that one. I haven't read it yet though. You're listening to The First 15 Lives of Harry August. I don't think I've heard of that one either. I do judge some books by their covers. Sometimes you should. But when I was at the bookstore yesterday, there were so many good-looking books. I was very tempted, but I was like, I have enough. I have enough for now. I can't read a million books in a year. Yeah, I saw on Steam that you had played it, and I was like, oh, okay. Probably a good one then. I have to read it. It looks so nice. Lena laughed and stuck her tongue out at me. I walked up to Rika-chan and struck up a conversation. Perhaps something is still troubling Satoko and we just don't know about it. If that's the case, we need to help her.
元気なさそうだな。
You don't look so good.
何か悩んでるのか?
Is anything weird going on?
圭一。
Rika-chan had been daydreaming and it took her a while to realize that I was talking to her.
僕が悩んでるように見えましたですか？
Do I look upset or something?
まあな。
Kind of.
どうしたんだよ。
Is
何かあっ
anything
た
the
のか?
matter? It took her a while to answer. Such a long silence had to mean yes.
圭一。聞いてもらいたい詩がありますです。
Keiichi, there's a poem that I want you to listen to.
誰が作った詩かは聞かないでくださいです。
Don't ask me who wrote it.
そして聞いたら感想を聞かせてほしいです。
I just want to know what you think.
いいぜ。どんなのだよ。
Alright, let me hear it then. Has Nua played it? If yes, it's good. I mean, I don't know. I've liked everything that I've seen you play, so I'm like, okay, Nua has some pretty good taste. I will base the things that I will read and consume and play. I will base it off of what I see you reading and consuming. Not quite that dramatic, but you know, it's a nice point of reference. You are a nice point of reference. Rika-chan closed her eyes and recited a short poem. It went something like this. Everyone has the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to receive. Aw, everyone has the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to fulfill. Haven't we read these words somewhere in the beginning before? I have the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to compromise.
結構難しい詩だな。
That's a pretty interesting poem.
それはリカちゃんが作ったのか?
Did you write it? Immediately asked who wrote it.
って聞くのはなしなんだったな。
Oh, I'm not supposed to ask that, huh?
なしです。
No, you're not.
圭一はこの詩を聞いてどんな感想を持ちましたですか？
What did you think after hearing it? Everyone has the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to receive. I understood that. Everyone does have the right to be happy, but that doesn't mean that everyone can receive that happiness. Everyone has the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to fulfill. This one is a little harder to understand, but exercising that right probably refers to the process of finding happiness. Everyone has the right to work hard for their happiness, but it's not that easy for that work to bear fruit. I have the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to compromise. I guess she's trying to talk about compromising your happiness. There's no limit to human desires. You can never stop wanting more. That's why people need to make compromises on their happiness. At least, that's how I understand it. If she was trying to say that we should be satisfied with what we have, it sounds like a positive statement. But there's also a negative tone to the way it's presented.
この詩は多分、詩を作った人の心情を表しているものだと思う。
Maybe it was the Bandcastle poem at the beginning, though I forgot what it actually said. It could have been. Those words seem very familiar, especially in regards to this episode that we're on. It might have been the very, very beginning of this episode. I think this poem is reflecting the feelings of the writer.
僕もそうだと思いますです。
I think so too.
それで 感想はいかがですか？
So what else did you think? She wouldn't admit it, but I'm sure Rika-chan is the one who made that poem, and it's reflecting on how she's feeling. I'm not that smart, but even I can understand that.
悲しい歌だなって思った。
I thought it was a sad poem.
悲しいですか？
Sad.
最初の2つはわかる。
I understand the first two lines.
幸せに過ごす権利は誰にだってあるが、だからといって誰でも簡単に幸せになれるわけじゃないもんな。
Everyone has a right to be happy, but not everyone can become happy that easily.
そういう厳しさを歌ったものだと思う。
I think those lines are describing the difficult parts of our lives.
でも最後の一つは毛色が違う。
But the last line is different.
妥協ってのは諦めるって意味だ。
Making compromises is the same thing as giving up.
この詩の私は幸せになることを諦めて今を妥協して幸せだと思い込もうとしてるんだ。
The writer of this poem has given up on their happiness, compromised with reality, and trying to convince themselves they're happy.
幸せだと思い込もうとしているですか？
Trying to convince themselves they're happy, you say,
それも未練いっぱいにな。
with plenty of regrets
誰だ
too.
って努力さえすればきっと幸せになれるのに、自分だけはそれが絶対届かないと分かっている。
Everyone can become happy with enough effort, but she thinks that she can't. Oh, Keiichi, you're making guesses as to who wrote it.
そんな諦めが漂う悲しい歌だ。
The poem reflects her hopelessness. It's very sad.
なら圭一、
Then
こ
Keiichi,
の詩の私はどうすればいいんでしょうか？
what do you think she should
く
do?
じけるなってことだな。
She shouldn't give up.
くじけるなですか？
She shouldn't give up.
この詩を歌ったやつは自分がどういう風になれれば幸せなのか悩んだ末にしっかり見つけてる。
The writer of this poem already knows how she can be
そ
happy.
れは決して高望みしたものではないと思う。
It's something that she deserves.
どうやったら幸せになれるかを延々3段も考察してるやつなんだぜ。真剣に考えてるんだ。
She's been thinking about how to become happy for a long time. The pronoun could also be a translation thing. That is true. But I feel like it's very intentional. They I don't know. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it really is just a translation thing, but I like it. I don't know. I kind of like it. It's like they're talking to each other now without actually addressing the elephant in the room.
だからここまで幸せになりたいと一途に思ってるなら絶対に諦めちゃダメだと思うぜ、リカちゃん。
If she really wants to be happy, she shouldn't
俺たち
give
は
up.
絶望的な状況をほんの数日でひっくり返したんだぜ。
Remember, we overcame a desperate situation in only a few
みんなで
days.
力を合わせればきっと奇跡が起こせる。
If we all work together, we can make a miracle happen.
リカちゃんだってそれを目の当たりにしたはずだぜ。
You saw it with your own eyes, didn't you?
あるんだろ悩み。
What's troubling you?
打ち明けてくれよ。
Talk to me.
打ち明けたいことはあります。
Oh my god, I don't even know how that conversation would go. There's something I want to talk to all of you about. He's just vague posting. Kind of.
でも打ち明ければみんなはもうひなみ沢でのんびりと暮らすことはできなくなるでしょう。
The big vague posting of 1983. But if I do that, you won't be able to live in this village anymore.
私にとっての幸せはみんなと楽しく昭和58年6月以降も過ごすこと。
Happiness for me would be to see what's beyond June of 1983 together with all of you.
だからこそ6月をくぐり抜けるためだけにみんなを巻き込んでもそれは私にとっての幸せではない。
It wouldn't mean anything if I lived beyond this June without you.
ひなみ沢にのんびり暮らせなくなる？
We won't be able to live in Hinamizawa anymore?
どうしてだよ。
Why is that?
打ち明けたことを知られたら奴らは必ずみんなを殺す。
They'll kill you if they find out that I talked to you. Well, they will also die regardless, unfortunately.
だから助けを求められない。
That's why I can't say anything.
殺すって穏便な話じゃないな。
What do you mean, they'll kill us?
まさかリカちゃん誰かに脅迫されてるのか？
Are you being threatened by someone? The word kill is not something that most people use casually. I was shocked to hear it coming from her mouth. That's why I couldn't help but raise my
誰
voice.
が敵かもわからない状態です。
I don't know who's the enemy and who's not.
一つわかるのは、誰かが私を必ず殺すということだけです。
The only thing I know for sure is that someone is going to kill me.
ごめんリカちゃん
But wait, Rika-chan,
話してくれ。
talk to me.
一体何があったんだ？
What the hell is going on? Is Teppei threatening her? No, that isn't possible. The police arrested him. And besides that, the Sonozaki family told him to never come back to the village. There's no way he could contact Rika-chan in order to threaten her. And even if that somehow was the case, Rika-chan could just talk to Mion and everything would be taken care of. But based on her expression, it seems like this is way deeper than that.
ごめんなさいです。
I'm
これ以
sorry.
上言えば、きっと巻き込みますです。
If I talk, you'll be dragged into this.
圭一たちが巻き込まれれば、仮に6月を超えられても、それは私の望む世界じゃない。
If I lose you, I have no more reason to survive. This is so depressing. Now she's like kind of talking about it, but she still can't fully commit to it because she doesn't know what's going to happen to them afterwards. Or what's going to happen in general.
だから、打ち明けられないのです。
I just can't talk to you about
それ
this.
が多分、私が望む幸せに対し、妥協しないということなのだと思いますです。
I'm not going to compromise my
リ
happiness.
カちゃんがさっきから何を言ってるのかさっぱりだが、
I don't understand what you're trying to
リ
say.
カちゃんのその言い方、先日までのサトコにそっくりだぜ。
But you sound just like Satoko did a few days ago.
さとこに、
Like Satoko?
ああ、
Yeah.
耐えることが美徳だと勘違いして戦う勇気を忘れてる。
You're thinking it's better to be patient. You forgot the courage needed to fight.
そういう風に聞こえるな。
You sound like that.
電話でサトコに戦う勇気を奮い起こせと劇を飛ばしたリカちゃんらしくもないぜ。
Weren't you the one who told Satoko to be brave over the phone? My words had clearly hurt Rika-chan's feelings. She bit her lip and went quiet for a moment.
巻き込まれれば、圭一たちもきっと殺されますですよ。
If I talk to you, you might get killed
殺
too.
されるのはごめんだな。
Well, I don't want that.
でもよ、放っておけばリカちゃんは必ず殺されるんだろ。
But if you don't do anything, you're going to get killed, right?
だったら俺もリカちゃんのいない未来なんてごめんだな。
We don't want a future without you either, Rika-chan. What?
リカちゃんが俺たちを巻き込みたくないって思うように、俺たちもリカちゃんを失いたくないって思ってる。
You may not want us to get involved, but likewise, we don't want to lose you either.
荒事は大歓迎だぜ。
We welcome the struggle.
それに3人集まれば文殊の知恵って言うだろ。
Besides, you know how powerful we can be
部
together.
活メンバーみんなで相談し合えば必ず妙案が出るぜ。
I'm sure we can solve anything if we all work as one.
いくら部活メンバーでも、無理なものは無理だと思いますです。
Not even our combined strength can solve this problem.
俺たちを巻き込みたくないから打ち明けられないんだな。
You don't want to talk to us because you don't want to drag us into it, right?
ならリカちゃんは俺たちに打ち明けず一人で死のうってことなんだな。
So what you're saying is that you want to die without telling us anything?
そういうことだと思いますです。
I guess that's what I'm saying. Seems so hopeless. But I'm glad that she's making an attempt at talking about it and that Keiichi's being kind of reassuring. He's trying his best anyway.
耐えることを美徳だと勘違いするな。
Don't think that being patient is the same as being
戦う
brave.
勇気を思い出すんだ。
Remember the courage to fight.
心の整理がついたらいつでも何時でもいいから相談してくれ。
You can talk to me anytime once you organize your feelings.
俺たちは絶対に力になるからな。
We'll help you. You can count on us.
ありがとうです。
Thank you. Rika-chan was wearing a sorrowful smile. I could tell that she appreciated my sympathy. I don't know why, but Rika-chan is troubled by something. It's a matter of life and death for her. She can't even talk to us about it. At the very least, she won't talk to me.
どうだったケイチくん。
How was it, Keiichi-kun?
リカちゃんが悩み事だって
Is Rika-chan troubled by something?
珍しいね
That doesn't happen very
さと
often.
こ変なことを聞いてすまんがリカちゃんが命を狙われているような話ってあるのか？
Satoko, this is going to sound strange, but is there any chance that someone is threatening Rika-chan's life?
は
What?
何を言ってるんですのケイチさんは。
What in the world are you saying, Keiichi-san?
リカちゃまは村のシンボルじゃないですか
Rika-chama is the village mascot.
拝む人はいても命を狙う人なんているわけないです
People worship her. No one would ever try to kill her.
なんだいなんだい
What's this?
物騒な話だね
What are you guys talking about? The more I talked to my friends, the stranger it seemed that someone would try to kill Rika-chan. Everyone was even more confused than I felt.
リカちゃんは悩みを打ち明けてくれたわけじゃない。
Rika-chan didn't want to talk to me about what's troubling
でも
her.
何かに悩んでるのは間違いなくそれはかなり深刻らしいんだ。
But I'm sure there's something very serious going on with her.
リカちゃんが俺たちを信頼してくれるならきっと近いうちに打ち明けてくれると思う。
If she really trusts us, I'm sure she'll talk to us soon. I don't know if I could take it if she dies without telling them.
その時はどんな突拍子もない話であってもきっと信じてあげて力になってあげよう。
Let's believe everything she tells us if she opens her heart,
きっとだぜ。
okay? They are locked in. We all looked at each other and nodded. I love this. They're so cute. Oh wow, that wasn't that much at all. There's gonna be an ad break in 5 minutes, but I think we have time to read the tip. Number 34 from here. I couldn't read that so fast. Steam. Higurashi. Number 34. From here on, it all starts to unravel, and it's a picture of the syringe. Fucked up. This was the fun gang before the fun gang. I love them. We played basically through the entire chapter on what day is today? Monday. Yes. Hello. Hi. Thank you for the raid. I don't really know how to Briar? Yes. Hi. I'm a little bit surprised still by the name change. But I hope you're doing good today. Hi. Thank you for the raid. Hope you had fun playing Dark Souls 3. I still haven't played a single Dark Souls game, but I hope you're having fun. I really love your new design. It's very cute. We're still playing Higurashi. We've been playing Higurashi for like 1.5 years. It's been quite some time. And we're still not done with it. There's gonna unfortunately be an ad break in like 3 minutes. But I really hope you had fun. You nailed it. It hurt me, but it was still good. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I think it's a really nice name, and I really like your new design as well. I love it. But yeah, I'm gonna read this one tip before we go into the ad break. But yeah, I hope that you can rest well. I hope that you had a good stream and that it was very fun. And yeah, welcome in everyone. Welcome in Angelkins, Tilted Salt, Barry, Muty, Briar, of course, Crash It, Smith, yes. Gotta run to grab food, but I will be lurking. I love all my rebrand stuff too. Yeah, you should. You should be really proud of yourself. You did a good job. But yeah, enjoy eating your food and rest well. My chat isn't loading anymore. That happens to me sometimes as well. I don't know what it is with Twitch. Sometimes that happens. What I also have with Twitch is that it sometimes just crashes while I'm watching a stream or a VOD, and then my whole PC just dies. It's great. The Son of God promised that he would be resurrected within 3 days. Sinful men guarded his grave to make sure he would not wake up, but that was foolish of them. He meant that his spirit and his lessons would be resurrected, not his physical shell. Do not be afraid of physical death. If you achieve great things, you will live again. You will surpass death and become immortal. A demon took the Son of God to a cliff and told him to jump off. He claimed that if he really was a son of God, a miracle would help him survive. He tried to challenge the Lord. The Lord challenges humans, but humans may not challenge the Lord. To challenge is to suspect. Suspicion will speak words of evil into your ears, and it will make you falter. Do not doubt your own achievements. Do not doubt your own life. Do not doubt your contributions. Do not let others criticize your achievements. That is the same as doubting your own life. Hifumi T. Who is this Hifumi? This is the second note that we read of them. That's actually a really nice message. The last one was very cryptic and very weird and very religious in tone, kind of. But this one was kind of uplifting and nice. It still had that, like, oh, you know, your soul will live on and whatever vibe to it. But that's not necessarily bad. I mean, in the case of Rika and Hanyu, it's kind of true. I think mobile Twitch is just warped. It is. It very much is. I don't know. With every update, it just somehow gets worse. But yeah, I guess we're gonna take that ad break right now, actually, for the people that don't get ads. Oh no, I'll be going to my Bear back screen. There's no need to keep the music on. But yeah, I'm gonna take a quick stretch break, and I'm gonna get some water, and I'm gonna pet my cats. So kick back, relax, and I will be right back in 3 minutes. Hello, I'm back. I pet all of my pets. My cats, my dog, all of them. Also, thank you for the lurk, Dr. Angelkins. I appreciate it. I really had to get up because my leg was also starting to hurt. I feel like when I sit at my desk, I always sit in the worst positions possible. I will sit on my legs, and I even got a new chair so that I can sit more comfortably cross-legged on my chair. But even then, I will still not just sit normally. I will still sit on top of my legs, and then they fall asleep. And then when I stand up, it's like I can barely walk. Not good. Don't be like me. Anyway. Chapter finished. Which one was that again? 11. I think this next one might be the last. I'm not 100% sure. I think this one will be the 12th achievement. And then the 13th would be read all tips. And then the 14th is like the after room, the usual Higurashi tea time talk, whatever. I got to pet cats at my parents' place yesterday too. Oh, I love cats so much. They're so cute. I am shrimping. Though I have gotten better at that. I don't know, my legs suffer. I do the same thing. It used to be worse when I had a chair that could recline very far back. Now I don't do that anymore because it's really hard to recline back and like have my legs on top of my chair and also kind of on top of my desk. But yeah, I have gotten better at it, and I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll sit like a normal person. But for now, even at work, I'll still sit with one leg underneath the other. It's just more comfortable like that. It's my I'm locked in position. Anyway, gotta stop yapping. Let's keep going. Let's try to save Rika from her impending death, maybe? Question mark. Let's save everyone from their impending death, actually, because if the I was gonna say nuclear bomb, but it's not quite that. The natural gas bomb, whatever, gas eruption kills all of the people in this town, then, you know, that's kind of bad. Wish my dogs weren't so hyper around cats. I'm scared they will hurt it. My dog is very hyper around cats, or any animal, in fact, when she's outside. But, when she's at home, she doesn't really care about them. She ignores them for the most part, or she's just interested enough to like sniff them. and want to like lick them or whatever, but she doesn't hurt them here at least. I don't think she would hurt them outside either though. But yeah, it's kind of tough if you don't know how your dog will react. It's very scary because some dogs just have a natural instinct to murder everything in their sight. I've seen it firsthand. There's some dogs around here that have just killed animals on sight, and it's kind of crazy. Paprika with Enwi, yeah. I'm trying to help her, okay? So that she can be happy and not senselessly bored with eternal life looping. When I woke up, the first thing I saw were Satoko and the calendar. The first one to wake up is supposed to tear yesterday's date off the calendar. Sometimes we both tear the calendar by mistake, so the date ends up 2 days ahead. Satoko likes to tear the calendar, and that makes her wake up early every morning. That would usually make me smile, but I felt devastated as soon as I saw the 22 on the calendar. It's going to happen today. June 22nd, the day I die.
おはようなのです。
Good morning.
おはようございますですわよ、リカ。
Tepe? No, maybe, probably. Good morning, Rika.
二人ともおはようです。
Morning, you two.
二
You
人
too?
あらあら、まだ寝ぼけてるでございますの
Are you still asleep?
み
Yeah, something like that.
さとこの他にも、この部屋に住んでいる人がいますのですよ。
There's someone else living in this house other than you and I.
その人にも、おはようを言いましたのです。
I just said good morning to that person as well.
もう、
Hey,
朝から怖がらせるのはなしでございますわよ。
do not try and spook me like that.
これでさとこは、今晩怖くて、僕の手を握ってないと寝られないのです。
Satoko won't be able to sleep without holding my hand tonight. She seems to really enjoy that. Sometimes I feel like Satoko can see Hanyu, and it's fine if the three of us are living together. That would be a lot of fun. It was time to go to school, but my body felt heavy. Today, I was going to die. Knowing that, I didn't even feel like going to school. The more I've repeated the same life, the more precisely I can detect my day of death. I always die on the day I feel this way.
リカ、そろそろ学校に行きますわよ。
Rika, we ought to get going soon.
僕は、今日はお休みしますです。
I'm taking the day off today.
リカ、ケイイチさんに聞きましたけど、何か悩み事があるって本当なんですの？
Rika, I heard from Keiji-san. Are you troubled by something?
あるといえばあるし、ないといえばないです。
Kind of, but not really.
ん？
What else is there left to do? Today is the day. It's too late now. A part of me still feels like doing something. I've been in this world only a few days. My emotions went up and down like a roller coaster. Sometimes I felt motivated to fight, and other times I felt desperate and gave up. Even though Keiichi and everyone else showed me such strength, I lacked the iron will to fight against my fate. The most confidence I ever felt was when the dice all came up 6, a fortunate coincidence that was just handed to me. I was hoping to gain the courage to fight against my fate, but here I am today, conceding to destiny. Keiichi told me that we can make a miracle happen if we work together, but there was something he didn't teach me. He didn't teach me how to believe in that. If I don't believe that I can make a miracle happen, I won't be able to make even a crack in the wall of fate. It seems so simple, yet it's so difficult. I couldn't even decide whether I should be on stage or stay off it and remain as a spectator. I told Hanyu that I haven't decided what to do after this world is over. But that's the spectator's point of view. For the people on the stage, this world is the only one. For them, the end of the world means the end of their lives. That's why they'd do anything to change their fate. That's why they can make a miracle happen. I never worked hard enough, because I always knew that I could reset my life. I thought I was just one pathetic girl who couldn't change her own fate. That's why I ended up here again today. It's as if I slacked off on my summer homework and woke up on the last day of vacation with nothing completed. What should I do? Should I not work on my assignment knowing that I'm not going to make it on time anyway? Or should I do whatever I can, even though I may still get in big trouble? Perhaps a miracle will happen. Perhaps the homework will be done overnight. Miracles don't happen to homework. I have to do the homework on my own. Without effort, nothing will ever get done. Without effort, not even one question will be solved.
リカの好きなように過ごすといいと思いますのです。
Rika, I think you should spend your day doing what you want to. This is so depressing. I really don't want her to give up, but also it's kind of hard to make her believe that she'll be fine this time around and to do something about it when, you know, things are looking kind of bad. If she couldn't even prevent Tomitaka's death and she doesn't even know if Takano's the one behind it all. And if that same person that killed Tomitaka is gonna kill her too. Seems very likely for her, unfortunately. Nothing that she can really do here. Except for talk to her friends, I guess.
リカの大好きな窓際で甘いワインを飲むのもリカらしい過ごし方だと思いますのです。
You can drink by the window all day. Just the way you like doing.
どうせ怒られるなら最後の一日も気ままに過ごそうという開き直りね。
You're suggesting that I shouldn't do anything since I know I'll get in trouble anyway? I feel like just out of spite, I would go against what Hanyu says. For Hanyu, it's not about the homework. It's more about the vacation itself. The vacation will be over no matter how much I wanted to continue. In her eyes, it's pathetic for me to make a big deal out of not completing my homework and contemplating whether I should still work on it or not. On top of that, I'm saying that I might as well die if my vacation is going to be over. If I was in her situation, I'd be laughing hysterically. Keiichi told me to seek everyone's help in order to finish my homework, but I'm not taking that offer, not only because I don't want to cause them trouble, but also because I don't want the teacher to know that I got help from them. If I was going to have regrets, I should have worked on it from the beginning. If I had no intention of working on it, I should have just relaxed without stressing so much. If I didn't care what other people thought, I should have asked for their help in the first place. Those are the 3 options I talked about with Hanyu yesterday. I didn't choose any of them. I've been living for over 100 years, but I still can't decide. My 100 years were wasted.
さとこ、僕は今日風邪をひいてしまったのでお休みしますです。
Satoko, I'm not going to school today because I have a cold.
そうなんですの？
Is that so?
体温計でお熱を測ります？
Do you want me to take your temperature?
今日はゆっくりさせてくださいです。
I need to rest today.
知恵には僕は風邪で休むと伝えてほしいのですよ。
Could you tell Chie that I'm not coming because I'm sick?
リカ、
This is so depressing with the music and everything. They weren't wasted. Think of how much wine you drank and how much you looked up at the moon. Man, this is so sad. I feel so bad for her. I really hope that they can do something to change her mind about all of this.
本当に風邪なんですの？
Rika, are you really sick?
なんだか命を狙われてるような話をしているって圭一さんが言ってて、私本当に心配してますのよ。
Keiji-san told me that you're worried someone is trying to kill you. I'm very concerned, you realize?
ありがとうです。
Thank
もう
you.
行かないと遅刻しますですよ。
You should go now. You'll be late. Satoko looked at the clock, then looked back at me again.
私は今すごく幸せですのよ。
I'm very happy right now.
みんなと楽しく過ごせて、またリカと一緒に暮らせるようになってとても嬉しいんですの。
I'm happy that I'm back with everyone and that I'm living with you again. It wasn't wasted just to see her smile like this, okay? This alone was worth it. Girlie has gone through so much.
だからリカがいなくなったら、私がどれだけ悲しい世界に生き続けなくちゃならないか、よく考えてほしいでございますのよ。
So, if I lose you, I'll be living in a very sad world. Just think about that.
僕のいない世界。
The world's without me.
ええ、
Yes.
リカのいない世界なんて
とても辛くて悲しい世界ですわ。
The world without you would be a very sad world. I never thought about that. I thought that the world ended when I died. Kind of. I've never thought about the world after my death. That was never my concern.
だからどうか自分をリカが思ってる以上に大事にしてほしいんですの。
So please, take care of yourself.
リカ一人の不幸じゃない。
It isn't just
リカ
me.
に悲しいことがあれば、私もそしてみんなも不幸になることを決して忘れないでくださいますですのよ。
If anything happens to you, everyone will be sad.
さとこ。リカ、今日はそっとしておきますけど、悩みがあるなら絶対に相談するんですのよ。
Rika, I'll leave you alone for today, but please talk to me if you have something on your mind.
仲間が悩んでいるのに自分を頼ってくれないこともまた悲しいんですから。
It's kind of upsetting how you won't talk to me. It's called Chapter 3, look it up, yeah. Kind of fucked Keiichi there up big time, Rika. Kind of everyone, but yes. It was, okay, well, Keiichi, you know, because he survived all alone in a world that kind of said bye-bye. That was actually super tragic. I still remember being extremely shocked by that ending. That's a feeling that I'll never forget. But yeah, it was awful. And that was only what we saw. Who knows what other worlds, you know, are out there? How many worse fates there are? I don't even want to think about that. Sadako seemed like she wanted to say more, but she looked at the floor instead. I know what she's trying to say. I realize how selfishly I've been living. It was wrong for me to look at this world as a stage play. But it's too late. It's too late now. Sadako left the house in a hurry. Hanyu and I were left alone inside the house.
僕もお邪魔でしょうから、リカが呼ぶまで消えていますのです。
I can tell you want to be alone. I'll disappear until you call for me. Can't Hanyu, like, be a little bit more supportive? Like, I know that she doesn't want to see Rika get hurt, but man, please, like, cheer for her a little bit at least. Sadako blamed the death of Rika on Keiichi when she abandoned the world, cause Sadako was abused there. Yeah. I forgot about that, but yeah, they discovered her corpse basically together, almost together. And she immediately jumped to conclusions, and it was awful. But, yeah, I don't know. It's not good. I don't really even know who ends up killing her. I can't imagine Takano coming into Hinamizawa after she's been declared dead to kill Rika. Maybe if, like, the outbreak is shortly after. But they must have been nearby. Close enough anyway to kill her. Because, like, okay, no, her corpse actually kind of already looked messed up. She was already, like, taken apart by the crows and everything. I'm very interested in how it's gonna end.
気が利くのね。
Thank you.
100年生きても、リカはリカです。
You're still yourself even after 100 years.
100歳の仙人にはなれないのです。
You're not a 100-year-old transcendent.
リカには、年相応に悩んで、考える時間があってもいいと思います。
You deserve to think about your life as a young girl.
僕がリカに背伸びを敷いたこともあるかもしれませんのです。
I don't want to force you to think like a grown-up.
羽生は悪くないわ。
It's not your fault, Hanyu.
私が勝手に天狗になってただけよ。
I was just being arrogant.
僕とおしゃべりしたいときは呼んでくださいです。
Call me if you want to talk.
もう泣きつかないの？
You're not crying anymore?
私がこの世界で終わりにするのを撤回してほしいって。
You're not gonna beg me not to give up on my life?
リカは頑固な人ですから。
You're a stubborn
言えば
person.
言うほど逆効果になりますのです。
I know it's better not to be too persistent with you. She gives up so easily.
さすが付き合いが長いだけのことはあるわね。
After all these years, you know me very
も
well.
うリカも悟っているようですから言います。
I know you're already aware, but let me say this.
今日です。
Today is the
悔
day.
いのない一日を。
Do your best.
理科が何をしてもしなくても、朝が来て夏休みが終わるように、この世界も終わります。
No matter what you do or don't do, this world is going to end today. Go out in a blast or something. I mean, she saw how a small thing, like having Oishi send a patrol cruiser around where Tomitake was gonna get killed, made a difference in where his body was dumped. So, like, small changes can have medium impacts, I guess. So maybe if she does something else today, maybe something different, since this world is already so different from the others, she could actually change her fate, maybe?
でも、理科が望めば、次の朝も訪れる。
But if you wish for it, you'll see a brand new day, just like when morning comes.
そして、それはまたしても、今年の6月かもしれないけれど、朝は朝。
You might find yourself back in June of this year again, but it'll still be a brand new day.
もっと小さい頃。
Hello, Didi. Hi. Hope you're doing good today. Can I try your tea? I was gonna say it's probably already cold, but it's still steaming from my cup. So yeah, sure. Sip ahead.
毎日が退屈で、毎朝起きても同じ日が繰り返されてるんじゃないかって思ったことがある。
When I was younger, every day seemed so boring. Every morning, I thought the same ththings would happen again after I woke up.
それが本当になるだけのことだしね。
This just means that'll end up being true.
今日を有意義に生きてくださいとだけ言いますのです。
Let me just tell you to live this day
これ
productively.
以上は僕は何も言いませんのです。
I'm not gonna say anything else to you.
多分今日だろうと思っていたけど、あんたにはっきりと言われると答えるわね。
I knew today was the day, but it's still difficult to hear that from you.
やっぱり終わるのね。
It's going to come to an end
今回
again.
も。
Huh?
はい。今回も終わりますのです。
Yes, it's going to end again.
いつもと同じように。
Just like always. Please, be a little bit more positive. A little bit. Hanyu disappeared and it went completely quiet inside the house. How should I spend my day? How should I end this day? Should I work on my homework, knowing that I'm not going to make it on time? I only have half a day left. I have to do my best. I should think about what I can do. This world is supposed to be a happy place. People are enjoying their lives. I should have enjoyed my life more too. I don't mean in that I should have lived my life in blind optimism. It means that I should have enjoyed my life by fully experiencing both happiness and sadness. If I did that, I wouldn't be as worried about what to do after my death. I should have simply lived with all my might. When the time comes, it'll be
今日
over.
を生きる。
Today, I will live. That's a very important phrase, but it sounds meaningless when I say it because I can repeat things at this meaningless life as many times as I wish. A little sad, but also true. But also, I don't want it to be true. I'm refusing. While Satoko was at school, I washed the dishes. Hanyu would usually stay with me when Satoko wasn't around, but she's not here right now. It's been a while since I was all by myself. I never thought anyone could feel so lonely while washing the dishes. I'm going to die today anyway. This world is ending today. Why should I wash these dishes? It's because I'm thinking about Satoko. We'll have to move on with her life after tomorrow. I will encounter a new Satoko in the next world. But I realized something after hearing what Satoko told me earlier. After I'm dead, I wonder how Satoko will move on with her life. The worlds that I've left in the past all went on without me. I wonder if Satoko will be able to cook without me. I wonder if she can go shopping on her own. I wonder if she can wash her clothes all by herself. I've been avoiding thinking about this, but Satoko and my other friends must have been overcome by sadness. It's too late for me to think about this, but I started feeling like I want to cry. I'm feeling like this because I don't want to leave this world. It's a good world! We should fight for it, please! This is the world I've always wanted. It's my hope that I can continue to live in this world beyond June 1983. After a long journey, I finally ended up in this world. But I was able to truly live in this ideal world for only one night. The night of Watanagashi. This world will be shattered again after I die tonight. We finally saved Satoko, and all our friends assume that our happy life has returned. However, I'm going to die. Tonight. They will mourn for me. We worked so hard to make a miracle happen, but they're going to lose their happy world in just one day. Am I going to start a new life in the next world as if nothing happened? I'd lived 3 days in my new world, but 3 sad days were going to pass in this world. That's no good. I can't think straight anymore. I couldn't stop the tears from flowing from my eyes. I hugged Satoko's pillow and cried. I could smell her scent. After I die, Satoko will probably hug my pillow and cry just like this. Is everyone else going to cry for me too? I'm sure they will. And? They'll be sad. Not about my death. They'll be sad not because I'm dead, but because I never told them about what was troubling me so much. I wonder if they're going to feel regret. Will they wonder what they could have done to open up my heart? What they could have done to help me in my time of trouble? Will they wonder what they could have done to save me? I felt miserable and frustrated. I held Satoko's pillow and continued to cry. This is really tugging at my heartstrings. This is so sad. I don't want this to be the end for her. That would actually destroy me. That'd be so sad. But if she's already thinking like this, then the chances of her opening up and actually talking to her friends are pretty high. I hope that's what she ends up doing. And the next moment, I heard the phone ringing. I tried to ignore it, but it wouldn't stop ringing. I picked up the phone, hoping that my friends would call to check on me. Oh, however, I heard a weird guy's voice coming from the receiver.
Hello.
This is Okonogi Gardeners. Is this the Furude residence?
Okonogi?
It was Okonogi from the Mountain Dogs. It was the first time I'd received a phone call from him. I'm calling because I have something urgent to ask you. I called the school, but they told me that you're sick today. Are you feeling alright? I'm not alright. This is the day I die. I knew he had no idea, but I still couldn't help but feel upset.
風邪なのです。
It's only a cold.
ちょっと今日はゆっくりしていますです。
I just want to rest today. Really? Well, that's a very fortunate coincidence.
です。
What? I had no idea what made him say that he was glad I was
ど
sick.
うして僕が風邪をひくと、おこのぎの好都合になるのですか？
Why is it a fortune? Why is it? Oh, that's the translation error. Why is it fortunate for you if I'm home?
いえ、実はあなたの命が狙われている可能性があるっちゅう連絡が入ってきたんです。
Well, we got a tip from Tokyo that someone is planning to murder you. He says that to gain her confidence, but I'm sure he's the one that kills her or someone in their organization. I'm gonna strangle this guy. I forgot to send that Okonogi drawing I talked about last time. Yeah, I want to see it.
それはどういうことなのですか？
What do you mean?
この度の富武氏たちの事件なんですが。
Tokyo was investigating the murder of Tomitake-san and Takano-san. Me when I lie.
東京の調査の結果、入江所長が黒幕である可能性が高いっちゅう連絡が入ってきました。
The investigation concluded that there is a high possibility Dr. Irie is pulling the strings.
入江が黒幕？
Irie is behind everything? This is the first time I've heard something like this. This isn't something that happens at random. It's the very first time. That means it's not just a coincidence. I'm hearing this now because of something that I did differently in this world. I've done many things differently in this world, though. I can't tell which decision led me to this result. However, maybe this is something that could change my life drastically. Okunogi continued to explain to me. There had been budget cuts to their research, and they were scheduled to be shut down within a few years. Irie was strongly against that because he was embezzling the research money by requesting bigger and bigger budgets. No? That is so unlikely. The guy is so nice. Even though he's a weirdo, he's very passionate about what he does. The Okonogster, exactly. Because they were going to cancel their research, he tried to sell the research data and make a lot of money off of it.
それは本当なのですか？
Is that really true?
信じたくないでしょうが、事実ですね。
I know it's hard to believe, but it is. Lies. All lies!
入江所長はどこか後ろめたそうなところがありましたんよ。
I always thought that he was kind of suspicious. Myself. Okay. I think I can say with certainty that Irie is not that type of person. Yes. I've been around him for years, and as far as I know, he's not a bad guy. He doesn't even have the guts to be one. He pretends to be cold-hearted for the sake of his research, but he can't shake his regrets. He's simply a nice person. It's hard to believe that he was embezzling money from Tokyo. I'm starting to be suspicious of Takano, but she's actually a nice person too. She is nice in her own way, you could say. Need to find a way to send your memories across time and space to keep it all straight at this point. Honestly, yeah. This is really hard. I wonder how she keeps up with the information overflow. Like, she has lived for hundreds of years. The fact that she doesn't get confused in her day-to-day life in which world she's currently in, if she only lives for 3 days or something, is kind of crazy. What bad things has Takano done in Rika's perspective? Well, the fear-mongering for one, the breaking and entering into a ritual storehouse, the manipulation of people like Rena with said fear-mongering. I mean, I guess she isn't a horrible person, but she's just very odd. I wouldn't, feelings-wise, I wouldn't feel that she's a friendly person or nice person in comparison to Irie. Irie is a creep, but you can tell that he's very genuine and that he, I don't know, is a nice person. Now you don't support women's wrongs. There's a time and place. Rika's life is at stake, okay? I can't support Takano's wrongs now. Not right now. Maybe a different point in time, okay? Not today. She seemed mean at times, but she could also act as innocent as a child. However, I'm starting to suspect her because Oishi told me that the body they found in Gifu might not be Takano's body. Okunogi works for Takano. That means I can't trust Okunogi. In other words, I can't trust Irie because Okunogi is clearly just trying to set him up. On the other hand, if Takano isn't guilty, I could be making a huge mistake. Yet it always seemed to me as though Tomitake and Irie were good friends. If Tokyo had suspected that Irie was embezzling money from them, Tomitake would have treated him far more coldly. Anyway, at the very least, Tomitake of Tokyo didn't have such a bad impression of Irie. So he is a nice creep? That sounds like an oxymoron. Hey, you can be a nice person and you can also be kind of creepy. He is a creep with a heart of gold. It sounds conflicting. It is conflicting. My feelings for Irie are very conflicting. The Irie of the Irie Institute and Tomitake of Tokyo were good friends. Tomitake of Tokyo and Takano of Tokyo were good friends. Takano of Tokyo and Okunogi of Tokyo, my goodness, were superior and subordinate. But Okunogi of Tokyo says that Tokyo is suspicious of Irie. This doesn't make sense. Everyone seems to be good friends at first glance, but the links don't connect from start to finish. Irie thinks he has a positive relationship with Tokyo, but Tokyo is suspicious of Irie? That's just odd. The chain should be connected, but one of the links is twisted out of order. It's breaking the loop.
すでに東京が内定に着手してますので、詳しい
Deducting.
ことはもうちょい待ってほしいそうです。
Smart Rika. I'm not disagreeing, but it sounds silly. It is silly. but it's the best way to describe how I feel about him. Tokyo is conducting further investigations at the
ま
moment.
た入江はあなたを何らかの交渉の最後の切り札に使おうとしている可能性があるらしく、あなたに対する警護体制を本日よりさらに強化せよとの命令が来ました。
We also have information that Edie is trying to use you as a bargaining chip. For that reason, we've been told to tighten up your security starting today.
それでご自宅にいられるんは都合がいいと言ったんですね。
That's why I'm glad that you're at home right now.
すでに古出神社の周辺は山犬が3交代、20人体制で警護に入らせていただきました。
There are 20 security guards patrolling the Furude shrine in 3 shifts.
もちろんご安心ください。
You
そ
may
れっ
not
ちゃわ
notice,
からないように気を利かせてますね。
but they're there for you. It's more like they're there to make sure that no one else is around when they're trying to kill you. That's what I'm getting from this.
すごい警護体制なのです。
That's a lot of
そ
security.
の警護はいつまで続くのですか？
How long are you going to guard me like that?
東京から解除の命令が来るまでずーっとですね。
Until Tokyo feels you're no longer in danger.
今回の一件が解決するまでです。
Until this whole case is resolved. That should have been good news for me, since today was the day I was supposed to die. This is exactly the kind of security I wanted. That's why I let Takano into the ritual storehouse. However, I have a bad feeling about this. Tokyo should be my ally. But that arrangement is just like Idia's relationship with Tokyo. Everything seems in order from my end, but when you trace it the other way, it feels like something's off at some point. I have this uncomfortable feeling because I have a few uncertainties about Tokyo. Tokyo and Irie have strong ties, but they're suspicious of him? Is Irie actually a bad guy? Is Takano still alive, and is she the one who killed Tomitake? Those questions and more made me uncertain about accepting help from Tokyo. I thought Tokyo, as a single organization, would move with a single intention, but in reality, they have multiple different intentions. In other words, there must be multiple. What's the word? I see it in the political section of newspapers all the time. Ah, right, factions. Are there 2 factions in Tokyo? One that wants to remain friendly with Irie, and one that looks down on him? That would explain the irregularities I'm sensing. Maybe I've been talking to Oishi too much. If he hadn't told me that he was suspicious of Takano, would I have believed Okonogi without a doubt? Maybe, possibly. Well, maybe not. Even without Oishi's theory, Okonogi still sounded very suspicious. Irie was loyal to his research on Hinamizawa syndrome. Tokyo understood this, so his relationship with Tomitake wasn't particularly strained. Plus, Irie isn't the type of person who could commit embezzlement. He's a law-abiding citizen with a good moral character. Well, that's not 100% true, you know? Remember that one time he went to, what's the word? Care for the little boy that they kidnapped, like in the middle of nowhere, where Irie drove all the way down there to, like, you know, I don't know, bandage his, I don't even remember what happened to him. Bandage his wounds? Take care of him? I think he had a fever or something like that. Or some kind of illness, I don't remember anymore. Anyway, he took care of him, and then he drove back and lied to the police. So, I think that was the chapter with Akasaka. A creep with a heart of gold is what I've seen some people use for the MC of Monogatari. Araragi, yeah, I never finished watching. What did I even watch? Isn't there like multiple whatever Monogatari series and light novels and whatnot? I watched a little bit of one of them. But yeah, that's actually a pretty good description. The MC was kind of weird, but he had good intentions. Kind of gives me the same vibes as the MC from what's the Bunny Senpai something something. Bunny Senpai, what's the anime? Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Senpai or something, or Bunny Girl Senpai, that one. It has a similar vibe. There is a lot, yeah. But people really like it. I wanted to check it out, but when I was a kid, I never fully got through it. I was just thrown off at some point and then I stopped watching. I remember liking the Bunny Girl one. It's been a long time. Yeah, that one's really nice. I liked it too when I watched it. It's been actually, I think I watched it like 1 or 2 years ago. So it hasn't been that long. Yeah, I haven't seen the movie either. I just watched the first season and that's it. But I liked it. It had a similar feeling to like what I have seen of Monogatari. Of course, he has some ambition as a researcher, but that only goes as far as common sense expects any researcher to. It's nothing like the criminal aspirations that would lead to major embezzlement. A great number of the mountain dogs were going to be guarding me. This is what I'd been wanting in my previous lives. But for some reason, I couldn't be happy about it. I couldn't help but feel depressed. If this house is like an empty birdcage, then they'd be the fox with feathers stuck to its face. I don't know if I can really trust the people who are protecting me. I try to recall more about Okonogi. The mountain dogs have been protecting me for years. Okonogi proved his skills in many of my other lives. To them, I'm something of a special existence. If something happens to me, it would be a disaster. The great Hinamizawa disaster. They've been saying this so often. They've been using the word disaster very often in the past 2 chapters, and I think it is very deliberate. It's been a while since I've seen. I've completely forgotten what it's about. Yeah, it's about forgetting. A little bit. I remember almost crying to one of the scenes, but I can't really remember what it was. It was quite sad. It was really emotional. I liked it. But the MC was kind of similar to Araragi. And, you know, the overall lore from what I've seen of Monogatari anyway. Someday, I will go through the Monogatari stuff. The Iri Institute is there to keep Hinamizawa syndrome under control, and the mountain dogs are there to protect me from evildoers. So why would they try to betray me now? I thought about it for a while, but I had no idea. I just know one thing for sure. I can't feel comfortable with the protection of the mountain dogs alone. I want someone other than Tokyo protecting me. But I bet such a person wouldn't believe me. Wait, what about Oishi? I've been keeping in touch with Oishi since the other day. He still thinks that the mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa are all plotted by the village authorities. If he believes that, then he might believe that my life is in danger. For him, I'm a special person with lots of useful information. Well, yeah, didn't he go missing? But we did see him afterwards. Like, he did come back after they went looking for Takano, so he hasn't gone missing yet. He's still here. But who knows if he still is right now. Monogatari someday? Yeah. I don't even know what they have of that series. They have anime, they have manga, I'm pretty sure, light novels. Do they have VNs? I don't know. They have a lot of different types of media for that. The mountain dogs hate the police though. When I asked them to assassinate Satoko's uncle, they refused because he was being watched by the police. I would feel relieved if the police were guarding me along with the mountain dogs. That way the dogs wouldn't be able to harm me, even if they were working for an evil faction of Tokyo. Besides that, if my suspicions toward them turned out to be baseless, more protection couldn't hurt. I'm sure that double security will keep me safe.
わかりましたです。
I feel like Monogatari is even still ongoing? I think it might. It might. I actually don't know. It's been a very long time since I first heard of it, so I just assumed it was kind of done at some point, but you know, there's stuff like One Piece, which I think is still ongoing too, so there's always the possibility. I used to follow Monogatari, but I kind of stopped partway through. It is very long and it's kind of hard to keep up with, so I get it. I think I'd have a hard time to watch the entirety of it. Well, forever, yeah. Ever since I understood what anime and manga and stuff like that was, I think I've known of Monogatari and that it's been a thing. Season 1 of One Piece finished. 1 season of 1,000 plus episodes. is it actually considered one season? Is that actually the case? I feel like I remember people being excited about it coming back in a recent anime season. Maybe. I don't actually keep up with anime seasons. I just watch whatever people recommend to me. That's what people have been saying, but I don't know. It's very silly. I heard really good things about One Piece. I almost want to try giving it a watch, but at the same time, that's a lot of episodes. That's a lot. I don't think I can pull through. I would rather watch something like Detective Conan. Like, I'm more interested in that, or Conan, whatever. I still can't say that name in English. Detective Conan. How bad the pacing of the anime is. Yeah, I think I would rather just read the manga, honestly. Monogatari series, Often Monster season, which aired from July to October 2024. Oh. Gintama. I think I tried watching Gintama before, but I also fell off. But it seems very funny. Whenever I see something from Gintama, it is very funny. Just like oh god, what's the one? Nichijo. I still haven't watched that one, even though every clip I see of that anime is hilarious to me. You know, thinking of Monogatari series reminds me of the one other series I like, Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. Huh. I think I've heard of this one before, but I have never watched it or read anything of it. That looks really nice. I'm actually gonna put that on my list. I am very curious. Yeah, City is nice. I did watch a few episodes, but I haven't finished it yet. Gintama, Law for Cry. Overarching story, but it's a slow burn. Yeah, I think you watch it more for like the interactions between the characters, more so than the story, really. I have so many lists. My list is now just my personal Discord, which I go through every once in a while, and I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to check this out, and then I do eventually. It takes a long time sometimes for me to get to stuff, and it's very disorganized because I do technically have separate channels on my Discord, but I just throw everything into my general chat because I'm too lazy to actually sort it into categories. But I used to have like an actual list on Google spreadsheet or whatever with like anime and movies that I wanted to watch, and I do have the stream game list. So it is somewhat slowly being organized somewhere, sometime. Do you have a list of lists? Not yet. Soon. The list of all lists. But it's gotta be Excel to make it unnecessarily complicated.
今日はおとなしくしていますです。
I understand. I'll stay home for today.
ええ、そうなさってくださるとうちらも助かりますんで。
Yes, please do.
街へ繰り出して変なチンピラに喧嘩でも売られるとうちらも苦労しますん。
Please don't go out into the city and try to pick a fight with delinquents. That has only happened once.
根に持たれているのです。
Sorry about that.
では、
Anyway,
風お大事になさってください。
please take care of yourself.
風邪の診察に診療所に行ってはいけませんですか？
I have a cold, so may I at least go to the clinic?
万が一ということがありますんで、入江診療所には当分近寄らないでください。
You never know what might happen, so please don't go near there for a while.
妙な注射でも打たれやすと大変ですかいね。
I don't want them to inject you with anything suspicious.
入江はそんなことしないです。
Idia would never do anything like that.
しないとうちらも思いたいですがね。
That's what we want to believe.
その疑いが解けるまでちょいとしばらく慎重にしてほしいっちゅうこってん 安情ご理解をいただきたいんですわ。
But you need to be careful of him until things are cleared up.
ったらんしゃもないのです。
So I have no choice, huh? Why does it sound like he's right next to me? No? What?
おこのぎもいつの間にかすっかり地元言葉になりましたです。
What is happening right now? You've totally picked up the local dialect, Okonogi.
最初は普通の東京
That
なまりだ
scared me. What just happened? I think that was maybe an error in like the voice lines being recorded, or like they fucked up putting an effect on it. But that's like, why did they go from suspecting idiot to suddenly talking about his dialect? I'm so confused. This is such a fever dream right now. The spooky lists. Hello, Space. Hi. Oh my god, what did you miss? Well, it's the day that Rika is supposed to die, so it's kind of been a depressing day, to be honest. Yeah. It's been a very depressing day. She's kind of given up on everything. She tried talking to her friends. She, like, dropped some hints that she was going to die, and now they're very worried about her. They tried talking to her and, like, lifting her up and saying that she could talk to them and maybe they could make another miracle happen. Satoko said that she would be very happy if she had to go on living without her, and now she's, you know, slowly, I think, warming up to the idea of opening up to her friends. And Okonogi is trying to get Rika to stay home. She stayed home because she said that she has a cold, which she doesn't. She's just really depressed. And Okonogi is like, oh yeah, Tokyo's suspecting idiot. He's behind everything. He's embezzling money, and he probably tried to killed Takano and Tomitake and whatnot. And she's starting to become suspicious of Okonogi and wants to get protection from Oishi instead. And she can't even go out. This is a very weird interaction they just had, though. Hello, On! Hi! I hope you're doing good today. Good to see you. Rika's been in the dumps. Yeah. Yep. All of that. Yeah, I'm awful at summarizing stories, but I think we did a good job. Hello, Zazzle. Hi. Hope you're doing good. I waved IRL. That's apparently a new habit I've picked up. Anyway, confusing interaction between the two of them. I used to have a normal Tokyo accent.
直せと言われれば直せるつもりですがね。
I like to think I could fix it when asked, though. I want to listen to this voice line again. This one.
しないとうちらも思いたいですがね。その疑いが解けるまでちょいとしばらく慎重にしてほしいっちゅうこってん、安情ご理解をいただきたいんですわ。すったらんしゃもないのです。
That's so weird. What does he mean by so I have no choice? And why is she like, no? Ha. What is happening? No matter what I try to interpret, it doesn't make sense. That's the weirdest conversation change I've ever witnessed in anything. I think it might just be a weird translation. Hello, Shavex. Hope you're doing good today. Hi. Good morning.
地域に溶け込むのが仕事ですから。
After all, it's my job to blend in with the local culture. I finished speaking with him. As soon as I hung up on the phone, I opened my phone book and looked for the number of the Okinomiya Police Department. It was nearly noon. It felt like the pages of the phone book were sticking to my skin. I must have been in a hurry. I really don't want to die. I want to stay in this world. I don't want to leave this perfect world. I'm trying to do something because I don't want to die. I'm trying to live with all of my might. I'm trying to enjoy my life. For the first time, I was spending my last day positively, without drinking wine until I was drunk.
もしもし、大石です。
Yeah, Okonogi is... No, Oishi is the belly guy. Okonogi is the guy with green hair that pinned down Tomitake to inject the shot. Yep. There's 22 people patrolling around in different shifts to quote-unquote protect Rika from the mountain dogs. So that's a lot of people. Mods, can we please patch this? That'd be great. Hello, it's
お
Oishi.
待たせしてすみませんでしたね。
Sorry for the wait.
ちょいと今から岐阜に行ってこようとしてたところでした。
I was getting ready to leave for Gifu Prefecture.
どうもあちらさん話が通らないんで、直に襟首を掴んでゆすってやろうと思いましてね。
I was going to browbeat them until they owned up to botching the case. What is browbeating? Browbeat? Intimidate someone, typically into doing something with stern or abusive words. That sure sounds like Oishi. Yeah, she's basically stuck in a cage. Oh, it's supposed to be black hair. It does look very great. Yeah.
岐阜高野の死体のことですか？
Gifu, you're talking about Takano's body?
ねえ。
Yeah.
周りは勝手に納得して高野の死体に間違いないって繰り返すんですが、
My colleagues are
私はもう
convinced
どうにも腑に落ちない。
that the body is Takano, but I'm still not
それ
satisfied.
で直接行って見てこようと思います。
That's why I'm going there myself.
死体が高野でないと分かれば話は一気に急展開しますからね。
If that body isn't Takano, this is going to be a whole different story.
高野を重要参考人として手配できます。
We can put out a search for her as a material witness, see?
幸い向こうの柔道部とは交流がありますので、お隣の県警さんにも味方は大勢います。
Fortunately, I have lots of connections in the Gifu Police
ちょい
Department.
とみっちり話し込んできますよ。
I'll go have a nice long talk with them. All right, the patented Oishi massage is gonna see a comeback. Also, hello. No, not hello. Thank you, Shavix, for the 5-stream watch streak. If spooky then does mean Halloween, I love Halloween. I actually feel very lukewarm on Halloween. I like it, but winter I do prefer a lot more. I don't think a lot of people know why I name myself Spooky. It's just because I get spooked out from horror games, but I like playing horror games. That's the only reason I named myself that. I don't know why. It's a silly thing to do, but it made sense to me in the moment, and I was like, "Yup, that seems good." Everything seems like a trap for him. I mean, he did disappear in like other worlds, so I'm actually surprised that he's still alive and well. Maybe this is where he would have gone missing. Maybe Rika talking to Oishi here prevents him from going missing. He goes missing with his whole squad. I thought it was directly after Takano and Tometake quote-unquote die, but he's still here. So maybe I misremembered when that actually happens. It looked like Oishi was proactively moving forward with the investigation. If that body is really Takano, that would be sad for her, but it would give me reason to trust the mountain dogs. If that's not Takano, then it would tell me that she's part of this whole incident. No matter what the result is, it'll give me some kind of hint, but only if I'm still alive. But really, it's unfortunate. Oishi is leaving for Gifu. He can't be around to protect
大
me.
石実は変な声の電話があったのです。
Oishi, some stranger called me today.
知らない人でしたが村人だと名乗りましたです。
I don't know who it was, but he said he's one of the villagers.
匿名の電話ですか。
He didn't tell you who he was. I see.
続けてください。
Please go on.
その電話は何と。
What did he tell you?
僕を殺そうとしている人たちがいるというのです。
He told me that someone is going to kill me.
早ければ今日にも決行すると言ってますです。
He said they'd kill me tonight at the earliest.
それは本当ですか。
Is that true?
なるほど。それはありえない話じゃないな。
Might I ask what caused you to spell it so uniquely? Well, you see, spooky with double O and Y was already taken, so I had to get creative. I don't know, in German, we use IE a lot, so I think this might have also already been taken, and I thought it looked kind of wonky. Maybe it's not taken, maybe I just didn't like it, so I was like, this looks correct. This looks good to me. I kind of just liked the way it looked when I spelled it out, and I was like, yep, that's the one. It just fit, I guess. Once I came up with it, I was like, yep, I like it. Spooky. I did consider that actually, but I was like, no, I don't want to have uwu in my name. No, but people do it anyway. Is that true? I see. That's not outside the realm of possibility.
わかりました。
I see.
私はもう出発しなければなりませんので行けませんが、警官を何人か行かせます。
I have to leave soon, but I'll send some officers over there.
駐在にも連絡して、あなたの近辺を警戒するように伝えましょう。
I'll tell them to keep you safe.
今日はご自宅ですよね。
You're home right now, right?
風邪か何かですか？
Do you have a cold or something?
家にいて戸締まりをしっかりしてください。
Just stay home and lock your doors and windows.
すぐに警官を行かせます。
I'll send someone over immediately. Poor idiot. I wonder when it happens that
おい
he
さあ、どうしたんすか？
commits suicide. If it even is suicide, it could have been forced upon him, let's say. What's wrong, Oishi-san? Okay. There's gonna be an ad break in 3 minutes, so I'm gonna start it now, actually, because this is, I think, gonna take a little bit longer. And then we can just read, hopefully, the end of the chapter. I don't know how long this one's gonna be. I think it's gonna be very long. I doubt that we can finish it today. But we'll see. We'll see how far we can get. But yeah, let me take that quick little 3-minute break, and I will be right back afterwards. Hello, I'm back. It's becoming very complicated. Officers are going to be staying with Rika, and then Rika is being watched by the mountain dogs. It's going to be a little bit of a mess to tell who is who. I mean, you know, you can, I guess... No, the officers here just have normal suits on, right? Or maybe it is quite difficult to tell who's going to be who if they don't have official uniforms. Anyway, I got more water. So let's keep going. What's not wrong? Because I need to up the volume. What's wrong, Oishi-san?
先方との約束の時間ギリギリですよ。
You'll be late for your appointment.
今ね、フルでリカから電話がありました。
I just got a call from Rika Furude.
匿名の電話があり、彼女の命を誰かが狙っているらしいと警告してきたらしいって言うんです。
Someone called to warn her that she was going to be murdered.
フルでリカオですか？
Someone is trying to kill Rika Furude?
どうして？
But why?
村のマスコットじゃなかったんですか？
I thought she was like the village mascot.
連続開始事件絡みで、私と接触してたことに対する警告じゃないかと見てます。
It might be a warning for contacting me about the incidents in the village.
本当に殺すかどうかは疑わしいが、彼女も年頃の子供です。
I don't know if they're really trying to kill her, but she's just a young girl.
命を狙われていると聞かされたら、穏やかにはいられないでしょう。
I'm sure she's very frightened right about now. Thank you for the head pad, Zero.
それに、ここで信頼を損ねると、以後の関係にも支障をきたしますからね。
Plus, if we lose her trust now, that might hurt our relationship in the future.
2、3人でいいです。大至急行かせてください。
2 or 3 officers are enough, but please send them over at once.
あと、駐在さんにも連絡して、とりあえず彼女を安心させてあげてください。
Also, get a hold of her local officer and have them reassure her some.
了解っす。
Yes, sir. Rika Furude might have some kind of hint regarding the mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. Oishi couldn't let her die. She's just another source of information to him. He's very pragmatic.
私たちも岐阜のわからず宿も閉めようとしたら、すぐに南沢へ行きましょう。
We should head back to Hinamizawa as soon as we get the Gifu Police Department to spill the
ちょ
beans.
いとハードな出張スケジュールになりましたよ。
This is going to be a pretty tight schedule for our business trip.
こんなの楽勝っす。
This will be a piece of cake. My guy seems very nice.
こちらひばり。
Yeah, the police does have a mole. We know that because they have information that, you know, the mountain dogs and the organization, whatever, have like information they shouldn't actually have. So, I don't know. I have a feeling that they will know about this very soon. We haven't heard anything in regards to that. We don't really know how it's going on Takano's side. This is Skylark.
駐在警官が境内に入りました。
Oh, do we have like I don't think so. Hello? No. Manga gamer? No. Okay. Doesn't seem like they do.
R 宅へ向かっています。
This is Skylark. A local police officer is on the shrine property. He's heading towards R's house.
了解。
Roger.
引き続き監視されたし。
He also doesn't have one. Not yet. Roger, continue your observation.
R と接触。
Encountering R.
警官を中に入れました。
She let the officer inside.
沖宮署に R から連絡があったようです。
R called the Okinomiya Police Department.
自身の身辺警護を依頼したと思われます。
She requested protection on her
う
own.
ちらのことは喋ったんかいね。
Did she tell them about us?
命を狙われているとの匿名電話があったと言っています。
Mm-hmm. She told them that she got an anonymous call.
作り話でしょう。
I'm sure that's made up.
また、それとは別に沖宮署から私服警官が数人派遣されるようです。
The Okinomiya Police Department is sending a few more officers to her
なん
location.
ねん。
What?
山犬だけじゃ信用できんって国会ね。
Doesn't she trust the mountain dogs?
厄介ですね。
This is trouble.
監視体制にも支障が出ます。
It's going to prove more difficult to continue the mission.
まさか気づいたんじゃねえんかね。
Is it possible that she somehow found out?
そんなわけはないとは思うが。
Well, we're probably safe.
全般に職質に注意しろと伝達。
Just tell the team to be aware of the officers.
疑われたら意味ないんね。暗
We
情
don't
警
want
戒しろっ
them
ちゅう伝えてえな。
to become suspicious of us.
了解。本部より全般。古出神社周辺に警察介入の動きあり。職質には特に注意されたし。
Roger. HQ to all units. There are police officers around the Furude Shrine. Please be mindful of
今
them.
夜の決行ですが、様子を見た方がよろしいのでは。
Yeah, maybe we will see the sprite later. Gonna sleep, but have a wonderful stream. Thank you, Blood, for being here. Have a good night. Rest well. We may have to postpone tonight's mission.
連絡はするが、三差はやるっちゅう言うだろうな。
I'll call her, but I'm sure the mayor will order her go anyway.
明朝に
Major.
R の死亡が発覚して話が進むよう、もうお膳立てが済んどるって話だ。
Everything's already set up for R to be discovered dead tomorrow morning, so we can move to the next stage.
警官に不審と思われとない。
But we don't want the police to suspect us.
もし疑われたら、おとなしを引くこっちゃん。
If they start suspecting you, just leave quietly. Oishi had called the officers pretty quickly. The officer who was in the area arrived within 10 minutes after I spoke with him. He asked me what kind of phone call I received today. I decided to make up a whole story. It'll all be over if they check my call history, but I'm sure Oishi won't bother doing anything like that. He thinks I'm worth protecting because I have information about the incidents in Hinamizawa. The policeman is one of the villagers, so I know him very well. More officers are coming here from the Okinomiya department. The officer told me to relax because he'd stay with me until then. Oishi must have thought I was frightened half to death after getting a threatening phone call. After about 30 minutes, 4 officers in plain clothes arrived at the shrine. The local officer returned to his police box. I really hope that these are policemen and not just mountain dogs in disguise. That'd be kind of awkward. She organized that ritualistic murder, absolutely horrendous. Yeah, like she told them very specifically how she was meant to be found dead, and that's fucked up. And the fact that they're just willing to kill a child in that way is... that's like out of this world weird. Like, I don't even know what to say to that. I wonder if they like kidnap Rika and then have Takano do the ritualistic killing and then they bring her back to be found dead, because they didn't say anything about killing her. They only said that they would leave her to be found dead in a specific way, which is like, huh? Who does the actual killing? We still don't know. Yeah, it's very sinister. It's very messed up. Knowing her, she would happily do it. Honestly, yeah, I doubt that any of these mountain dog people would be the ones to like cut her up and stuff. Like, I feel like it would have more meaning if it was actually Takano doing it. But who knows? We've heard the whole story.
神社周辺に我々が立ちますので、何かあったらすぐに呼んでください。
We'll guard the shrine, so please call us if something happens. Can't they, like, stay inside? Like, just one of them?
あと、夕方になったら大石刑事がこっちに来ると言っていました。
Detective Oishi will be here this evening. I was relieved to learn that Oishi would be coming
どう
here.
かよろしくお願いしますです。
Thank you very much.
必ず一人がここの下にいますので。
At least one person will be downstairs.
すみませんが、そのものにお手洗いだけは貸してもらってもよろしいですか？
I'm sorry, but is it okay if we use your
あ
restroom?
と、緊急時用にそのものに合鍵を預からせることはできますか？
Also, will you give us one of your spare keys, just in case?
どうぞです。おトイレも貸しますです。
Sure, you can use the restroom too. My house is on the second floor of a storage building. The first floor contains emergency supplies for the village. I'm happy to know that at least one police officer will be there for me. The officers confirmed their positions on the map of the shrine. One will be in the storage building, and 2 more will walk around the shrine building. Also, 1 more officer will be standing in front of the stairs that lead to the shrine. This world Oishi is certainly reliable. In my other lives, Oishi tended to look at me as his enemy. However, in this world, he thinks I'm on his side. I'm sure it's because we all became friendly with him around the time we saved Sadako. It was unfortunate at the time, but perhaps the return of Sadako's uncle was a necessary event. If Okunogi was right about Irie, he wouldn't be able to come near me with 20 mountain dogs and 4 police officers protecting me. How can you even think someone as... someone like... Okay, I was gonna insult him, but you know, someone like Irie. I don't have to say any words. You know exactly what I'm thinking of, okay? He's this weird little creepy guy who is very passionate about his research, okay? He just doesn't strike you as the type of person to murder a little girl for embezzlement reasons. You know, that's especially seeing how passionate he was about Satoko. He is very passionate about keeping the village safe, and he is like very concerned about these people. Stink up the bathroom. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe they ate some bad chili. If Okunoki is the bad guy, they'd be discouraged from acting by the presence of the police. Not too different from giving garlic to a vampire. This is the best protection I've had in 100 years. Even so, am I still going to get killed tonight? I need to do whatever I can. I should struggle as hard as possible. I won't give up. I won't even think about my next life. This is what enjoying life is all about. This is what living seriously is all about.
羽生いる
Hanyu, are you there?
いますのですよ。
I'm here.
どう思う
What do you think
今回
about all this?
確かに、僕もこういう展開はあまり見た記憶がありませんのです。
I have to admit, I've never seen anything like this before.
今回はひょっとしてって思うことはやっぱり罪なのかしらね。
Is it still wrong for me to expect something different this time?
僕は期待も失望もしませんです。
I'm not going to hope for anything. Maybe you should, Hanyu. Maybe we just need a little bit more hope into the hope meter, okay?
ただ、あるがままに訪れる結果を眺めるのみです。
I'll just have to accept whatever the result is. What the hell is Satoko going to think? I mean, she will think that Rika called the police. I guess. Because, you know, Satoko knows that Rika thinks that she's going to die, so maybe out of fear she called the police or something. Hanyu is still acting like a bystander. Anishu was going to say something like that. But part of me was hoping she would say something more positive. Upon hearing her say what she did, I felt a little disappointed and wondered why Hanyu refused to be anything but an onlooker. I always thought it was normal for her to be that way because she's a special existence. I also convinced myself I had to be an onlooker too, since I was a similar being. However, I can't just let go of everything and become a bystander. I can't become like her. I can't stop hoping for a better life for Rika Furude. That hope was betrayed so many times, and my heart was crushed countless more. Yeah, I do hope that she does end up fully opening up to them, because otherwise it would be kind of crushing. That's why I stopped expecting anything to turn out the way that I wanted. So, is Hanyu the same
羽
way?
生も傷つくのが嫌で期待することをやめた。
Are you also afraid of being hurt? I've only lived for 100 years, but I know how frightening it is to have high expectations. Hanyu should also be aware of that, since she's lived far longer than me. I always thought that Hanyu was a special existence. But except for the fact that she's invisible, everything about us is the same. She has the same thoughts and feelings as everyone else, yet I still saw her as a special existence. That's why I just assumed that her mind worked in a different way.
僕は理科に比べて長く生きすぎましたのです。
I've been living for longer than you.
喜びより悲しみが後に残り、期待すれば裏切られる方が多いことを知りすぎてしまいました。
I know that there are more sad things than happy things in this world, and that your hopes will always be betrayed. I love this Hanyu face, the blank stare. This one? Or a different one? Sorry.
だからもう何が起こっても心を傷つけたいと思わないのです。
That's why I don't want to be hurt anymore.
だから今回の世界でも期待しないのね。
So you're not expecting anything from this world either?
私がひょっとするとこの運命から逃れられるかもしれないという期待を。
I still have hope that this world might be
羽
different.
生は私がどうせまた失意のうちに殺されると思ってる。
But you think I'll just be killed again?
あ
Ow. The previous one where she looked less sad. Oh yeah, where she was kind of almost smiling. That's like the happiest face that she can have, I feel. This one is my favorite. She just looks so, I don't know, in despair. Hello, we? I don't know. Hope you're doing good. I like when she ow ow ow, like she's really like a dog. Ow!
そんなことは思ってないのです。
That's not what I'm thinking. Hanyu looked uncomfortable. She had no doubts that I'd be killed again that night. That's what it means to not have hope. But she just can't own up to it because she doesn't want to hurt my feelings.
羽生も聡子と同じなのね。
You're the same as Satoko.
何かの幸運か誰かが助けて奇跡を起こしてくれるまで耐えて待っているだけ。
You're waiting for some stroke of luck or some miracle to come and help you.
戦うことを恐れているだけよ。
You're afraid of fighting.
それを強さだと勘違いしている。
You think that being patient is the same as being
つい
strong.
最近までは私もそうだったけどね。
That's how I was until just a little while ago. Hanyu looked down and bit her lip. She couldn't deny what I
あん
said.
たも何度も聞いてるはず。
Hanyu cried like a baby. She's so stupid. Isn't that what Rika said like when we first met Hanyu? It was very funny. I recognize that voice. Which one? Hanyu's? Hanyu's voice is I don't know her name, the character's name, but the girly pop from Golden Time, the anime, has the same voice actress. That's what I always connect her with. I don't know how many people have watched Golden Time. It's kind of, I don't know, I don't see people talking about it ever. I know that you have heard it over and
奇
over.
跡ってのはみんなで団結しないと起こせない。
Miracles will not happen unless everyone works together.
団結というのはつまり信じること。
That means you have to believe too.
みんなで信じないと奇跡は起こせないのよ。
A miracle will never happen unless everyone believes in it. What I just said sounded as though I was blaming her for the miracle not happening. Maybe I was too harsh on her. I stayed quiet and Hanyu continued to look at the floor, shaking. Then she looked up at me and spoke. I noticed sadness, but also a little bit of anger in her eyes.
触れることもできず。
Haven't heard that name in years. It's a good one. I really love that anime. I feel like the whole world forgot about it, including me, till I heard Spooky mention it. It's not very well known, or if it is well known, people just forgot about it, but it's really good. I used to love that. I watched it multiple times. It's really, really good. I can't even touch
話す
people
こともできない。
or talk to them.
見ているしかできない僕も、そのみんなに含まれるのですか？
You think I'm just like everyone else, even though all I can do is watch?
いかに、どんな顛末も見ていることしか許されなかった僕の気持ちがわかるというのですか？
Do you understand how it feels not to be involved in anything? There was a slight severity in the tail end of Hanyu's speech. Except for me, she can't communicate with anyone in this world. She hates to be reminded of that.
ごめん。
I'm sorry.
やめましょう。この流れは喧嘩になるわね。
Let's stop this. I don't want to have a fight with you.
自分が殺されるまでの貴重な時間をあんたと喧嘩して過ごしたいとは思わないわ。
I don't want to spend the rest of the time I'm alive in an argument.
僕もリカと喧嘩をしたくはないのです。
I don't want to argue with you either.
でもこれだけは言わせて。
But let me just say one thing.
私とあなたは友人だと思ってる。
You're my
だ
friend.
から友人の人生が乗るか反るかという時に期待しないとかあるがままを受け入れるとか言ってほしくなかった。
I don't want my friend to tell me not to expect too much out of my life. It's kind of sad that Hanyu thinks that she has like no influence on anything because she can talk to one person, she can talk to Rika, and what she says to her affects what Rika does and how Rika interacts with other people and other things in this world. So she does have an influence of what is actually happening. She just doesn't realize that her words, even though only one person can hear those words, do have consequences. But Hanyu can distract someone at a pivotal moment because when she's intense, she can affect the outside slightly. That too, she has proven that she can actually affect people. Like if she starts stomping, people do actually hear that. I don't know if it's people specifically affected by Hinamizawa syndrome because the only people that were able to hear her and witness her are, were Shion and Satoko. Satoko is constantly level 3 or stage 3. And Shion that one time was already so paranoid and already going through it that she was already affected. So, Right, Keiichi too, in the very first episode when he was, freaking out. Tomitake heard it as well at the storehouse. That's true. But knowing now that he got a fake vaccination makes it likely that he was somehow already being affected by Hinamizawa syndrome. Maybe it hits people from the outside even harder because they're not constantly affected by it, People who aren't already used to it being around you or whatever, however it works, may be affected by it stronger even. Yeah. Wait. Keiichi before he was infected? I do remember it in episode 1, but at the storehouse? I don't think he heard it. At least not, especially not when we were playing from like Shion's perspective. She was the only one who could hear it, and Takano and Keiichi just continued talking as though nothing happened, I'm pretty sure. Keiichi heard someone say "Gomenasai" and thought it was Rena in the rain. When was that again? I do remember Keiichi being super freaked out because he thought someone was following him to his home. When he destroyed his whole entranceway? Because he could feel a female presence as he described it behind him, and he thought that it was Rena or something. I think it was only Shion, especially when we saw things from her perspective. I actually don't remember how it was when it was from Keiichi's perspective. Maybe, but I don't fully remember anymore. Yeah. Yes, right. Keiichi was like, I don't know if he was on the bus or something, but he could hear someone apologizing over and over. Is that what you meant, Amadis? But he didn't think that it was Rena. He didn't know Rena by then, I think. He just thought that, oh, why aren't you forgiving this girl? She said, I'm sorry so many times. But in the end, we know where that I'm sorry came from. It was like from the very first episode where she kept apologizing to him over and over as he slammed her fingers in the door. So like it was kind of like the worlds melting in together. But that wasn't Hanyu. That was just him remembering the other world. Yeah, he didn't think that it was Rena. After he slammed the door on her. Quite literally on her. Yeah. So yeah, I do think that Hanyu doesn't give herself enough credit. She does affect people, and she affects Rika directly.
そのことは謝りますのです。
I'll apologize for that.
でも、期待するかしないかは、僕の心の中で好きにさせてくださいなのです。
But you should try respecting my opinions too. She can be very stubborn sometimes. Hanyu seems weak on the outside, but she actually has a very strong moral code, one that she wouldn't bend for anything. She apologized to me, but she wasn't being honest. She still wasn't expecting anything good to come from this world. She still thinks that I'm going to die pitifully. That's why she refuses to believe in miracles. I've been living with her long enough to read her mind. I feel bad for her in a sense. She's been living too long and lost all of her hope. I do remember that Rena was like standing outside of his window at some point, and she like was saying something. That might have been what you meant. I don't remember if that was anime only or if it also happened in the VN. I do remember a scene like that, but I don't remember where it was from anymore. And I don't remember what she said anymore. Probably I'm sorry. I don't know if it was probably just him being affected by Hinamizawa syndrome, or maybe she really did say I'm sorry, but not in that creepy way that he imagined it to be. It's in both? Okay. Yeah, I think I remember this scene now. Hanyu told me to call her if anything else happened and soon disappeared. I'm sure she's still around. She's probably still watching me as if she's watching a TV show. The time of my death is slowly approaching. Will I be able to survive this time? It's been a long time since I faced this fear without drinking wine. It was I'm sorry over and over again. Okay. I kind of do remember this scene, but I would have to go back. I have like an idea of the scene, let's just put it that way. I was left with nothing else to do after washing the dishes and cleaning the room. The mountain dogs and the police were protecting me. Just in case, I figured I should leave something behind for Satoko. Should I write down some recipes for her in the notebook? Will she be happy if I leave a will for her? I laughed at my own foolishness. No one would be happy to read a will. If I die, they'll be devastated and wonder why I didn't talk to them. That's exactly how I felt when Satoko didn't ask for any help when her uncle was abusing her. I wonder, will I be killed before Satoko even comes home? My memories of these days are never very clear. The day I die is always vague in my recollections. It's fine if I murder before Satoko gets home, but if I murder after, then would they kill her along with me? I don't want that to happen. It's bad enough already that I end up getting killed. If Satoko's murdered along with me each time, that would be too much to bear. Just how much have I ignored other people's sadness with that rash idea that the world ends when I die? Thinking about that made me feel truly ashamed of myself. I turned on the TV to try and reduce the silence, but it didn't help at all. Worse, not only did the TV not help with my fears, I felt like it symbolized Hanyu and my allies, making me feel even more unpleasant. It was past lunchtime, nearly 3 p.m. School should be out soon. I'm not there today, so they probably won't do a club activity. Satoko should be home shortly. It seems I'm going to survive until she gets home after all. If she comes home and asks me what's troubling me, I might end up telling her the truth. If I talk to someone, that person will be demoned away by the mountain dogs. That's why I've never spoken to anyone about it. That happens? Did that happen before? Who? Who got demoned away? That's so messed up. Maybe Rika forgets her death because she can't accept who did it. I'm almost convinced that it has to be Takano. But maybe, okay, she has the knowledge now that it could be Takano, so maybe she won't be in as much disbelief, and maybe she can accept that it was her since she's already kind of toying with the idea that she could be involved in all of this. So yeah, you might be right. Maybe before she was like, what the fuck? I totally didn't, suspect her at all, and now she is. I haven't had apple pie in a while. I didn't want my friends to get into danger, but Satoko was also murdered likewise in every world because she was involved with me. Then we're doomed to share the same fate. It's better to know the truth than to be killed without knowing what's going on. But I'm under very strict security right now. I might be able to survive this in this world. If that's the case, I shouldn't talk to Satoko about it. It won't be so easy to talk to my friends after all. Moments later, I heard a surprised yell as Satoko was coming from downstairs. She'd returned. It sounded like she was scared to see a stranger in our home. I'd have to tell her that the police were here. That would be tantamount to telling her that someone is out to kill me. I don't know how to explain it to her, or how much I should tell her. However, my thoughts were soon interrupted by the noise of a crowd. Satoko hadn't come home alone. She brought the gang! I'm home! Hey, Rika! What's up with that officer downstairs? Hell yes! Why is that guy guarding your house? What the heck did you do? Mi-chan, that's not the right question. What happened to you, Rika-chan? There were some strangers on the shrine grounds too. They're so cute. I love them. They make me so happy. I don't know, it's just kind of... It's like... the weight gets lifted, okay? It's like, oh, this heavy feeling is looming upon you. You're like, oh my god, what horrible thing is gonna happen next? And then all the good friends show up and you're like, thank goodness. It's so nice. I love the Ryukishi sprites. It's still kind of funny to think back that I used to be like, oh, I don't really like the style. It looks kind of silly. It looks kind of bad. And I'm like, man, I love this art style so much. It has so much charm to it. Strength in numbers and friends? Yeah. I don't know, Ryukishi does this very well where he... I don't know, the hopeful scenes that he writes are just so powerful, so nice. I love them. There were some strangers on the shrine grounds too. Are they also police officers? This isn't normal, you know?
俺たち、リカちゃんが何を悩んでるのか知らないが、みんなで励まそうって思ってきたんだ。
We don't know what's troubling you, but we're all here to cheer you up.
でもどうやら、そんな悠長な事態じゃねえようだな。
It looks like something bad is going on. Well. Yeah, I don't know. Once you get used to it, it looks kind of nice. It just fits right in, you know? It's just good. It has soul. I couldn't stop laughing upon seeing everyone rush into my house all asking the same questions. It made me feel as though being depressed all day had just been a waste of time. Rika, what on earth is so funny? You need to explain to us what is going on. I love this sprite. It's so good. The mouth is just perfection. There's nothing to explain. I'm getting murdered today. Huh? Everyone already knew that I'd been telling people about how I was going to be killed, but they were surprised to hear it from my own mouth.
なあリカちゃん
Hey, Rika-chan.
俺は確かに昨日リカちゃんから聞いた
I heard that from you yesterday.
自分は誰かに殺されるみたいな話をな
You told me that you think someone is trying to kill you.
でもそれはリカちゃんの冗談みたいなもんだと思ってた
But I thought that was one of your jokes then.
だがなもうごまかすのはなしだぜ
Now though, you're not fooling me anymore.
話してもらうぜ
You have to talk to your friends. Keiji spoke with a harsh tone, as though I'd made him upset. As my friend, he must think that it's unforgivable that I didn't talk to him about it. He wasn't the only one feeling that way, though. Every single one of them was looking at me with worried expressions on their faces.
リカ、私はみんなに助けてもらいましたの。
Rika, everybody here saved me.
だから、私もみんなのために何かの助けをしたいんですのよ。
I want to do something for my friends as well.
気持ちだけで嬉しいのです。
I'm glad to hear that.
リカが自分で私に言いましたのよ。
Remember what you told me.
戦う勇気を持てと。
You told me to have the courage to fight.
あなたは自分でそう私に言っておきながら実践していないではございませんの。
But just look at you. You're not even fighting yourself. Hello, Molly. Hi. Hope you're doing good today. I was so surprised to see Higurashi's novel art. I thought it's gonna look better than anime. I mean, there's gonna be, people using different sprites. There's the Manga Gamer one, which I think very few select individuals on planet Earth will prefer. It looks good, but the other ones are just objectively better. Yeah, this one, I do genuinely like the console sprites. They look very, very good. But I don't know. Rukishi's OG sprites, they just do it for me. The angry Keiichi sprite gives motherfucker trying his best to seem vicious. I love his angry sprite. Or his, frown. It's good either way. I didn't know Spooky had arms. Damn. Crazy. I mean, you don't really ever see them because no one toggles that ever. Boxing gloves or nothing. Exactly. Yeah, you are so correct. It has soul. I can't even say that it's bad anymore because, to my eyes, once you get used to it, it's not bad anymore. Okay, anatomy-wise, it might be a little bit wrong, but I wouldn't say it's bad. I just feel more so now it just feels more stylized. The proportions are correct for the most part, I think. To my untrained eyes, they look kind of okay without being able to see the legs. They don't even have legs. Satoko has no freaking legs down here, okay? The arms look fine, the length ending around where her hips are supposed to be and everything. It's good. The folds are good enough in comparison to Manga Gamer, though. Satoko's is a bad example because they actually didn't overdo it here, so it looks okay. But yeah. Hello, Rebel! Good morning. Hope you're doing good today. Yeah. It's very stylized. It's very different from what people are used to nowadays. But it's not bad at all. It just takes some time getting used to, I think. I mean, I think people look at very old anime, the 2000s anime, and they're like, oh my god, this looks awful. Look at fucking, I don't know, Sword Art Online, it's so beautiful. And it's yeah, there's differences in style, but I wouldn't say the older anime are ugly. They just look vastly different. Think of Clannad. The style is so different. You can see the improvement as the OG sprites get newer. Yeah, I'm very excited to see the sprites in Umineko too, which is why I specifically wanted to play the 7th mod, because it gives you the option to have the OG Ryukishi sprites. And I just want to see how this guy's art improved. I just want to see how he was able to make the characters even more expressionate and stuff like that. I think it's going to be really good. But yeah, hello, pal. Hi. Hope you're doing good today. Art is subjective is such a meme, but odd and perhaps primitive-ish styles are always good in my eyes. To be honest, Rukishi's art is harder to maintain than modern anime art, I think. I agree. Like, I just keep thinking back to when I was like looking for a model artist, and I was like, I kind of would like someone who doesn't have the typical anime style, you know? Not that the anime, like the typical anime model style isn't good, it's objectively nice, it's aesthetic, it's good to look at, but I personally think when you have something that looks a little bit different, not quite samey, it automatically has more charm. And it just looks better to my personal eyes. My eyes. It looks better to my eyes. But yeah, the OG sprites are great. 2020 plus slob style used in cheap isekai. Fuck isekais. Minagoroshi, spoilers for me. So hi, bye. Thank you for stopping by. I hope that you enjoy Minagoroshi when you get to it. Decadent sheen that the Ryukishi sprites have because they're not as present in future Ryukishi sprites. You mean like in the hair and stuff like that? Or what do you mean exactly? The original manga gamer of this was sure translation of this was sure something. Isn't it the one that I'm playing right now? Because this is just the Steam release. Hello, Sammy. Sammy, yeah. Hello, Sammy. Hope you're doing good. The shiny shading that the Higurashi sprites have is like completely gone from the Umineko ones. I did notice that they looked very different, but they didn't look bad, just different. People say that modern Urusei Yatsura is by definition looking better, and yes, nowadays anime tends to stay more on model, but the original, even in the early parts, is smoother in animation and less rigid. Urusei Yatsura, I don't think I'm familiar with that. Urusei Yatsura. Oh, that looks so good. Okay, yeah, I can see what you mean. Like the new visuals are beautiful. It looks very nice, and it still like has a kind of old school-ish art style. Like they try to keep it the same. But like I see the older ones here too, and they look very good as well. Like they have a lot of charm, and sometimes like that retro old feel just kind of makes it even better. I don't know. Manga game originally released Higurashi in like 2008 with a really bad translation. Is it like with I was talking about this earlier. I don't know if you were there when I talked about it, but there was like a lot of discussion in the Umineko fan base whether or not you should use the Umineko Project translation or the original Steam release or official release translation. Because depending on what you pick on PC anyway, you're kind of stuck with either the console sprites or you can choose between the sprites, but you'll have a different translation. It's like the Witch Hunt translation or whatever. And apparently the original Witch Hunt translation, which is the team that did the translation, was received so badly that people really hated it, and they were like, oh my god, this is kind of awful. And it's too literal, and it mistranslates stuff in some parts, even though Ryukishi gave his thumbs up and it was accepted for the official release. But nowadays, it's apparently pretty okay. Like, they have touched it up a little bit again, and apparently now it's fine. Amaki just working from home. How's you? I am doing pretty good. I am excited. I feel like this year has been going well, almost too well. I feel like I'm a little bit afraid by how good it's going as of right now. I feel like in a couple of months it's gonna come crashing down on me. There are times I can catch you when I work from home. It's why I've been so MIA here. Don't worry about it. It's kind of the same for me. Sometimes when I wake up super early, I can see that you're live, but it's like 5 a.m. for me. And I'm like getting ready for work, and by the time I get to work, you're no longer alive. And it's kind of, ugh. Fuck these time zones. This is what I get for fixing my sleep schedule and for not being awake at 4 a.m. But yeah, I'm glad that you're doing okay. I love the Umi sprites, but yes, the shading is completely different. I look forward to seeing it. I think we just had our patented 30-minute yap, so I forgot what they were talking about actually. They're having a moment, and I ruined the moment. One-to-one translations as the language are fundamentally... It's impossible to do one-to-one translations as the languages are fundamentally different in structure. I think what people were just saying about the Umineko project translation is that it's better localized, but it also had its flaws. It was kind of interesting to read up on the history of the translation of Umineko, actually. Because, like, originally, apparently there was examples like making one of the characters swear like a sailor. Like, he was swearing every single sentence. He was, like, saying fuck and shit and everything all the time. And they had to fix that eventually. But, like, I've read through some of the examples, and I think technically the Umineko project translation is better localized. It sounds more interesting. It sounds pretty good. They did a really good job at it. But ultimately, I just think the sprites are more important to me, so that I am okay with having a more stiff and literal translation that is supposed to keep Ryukishi's writing style intact. Yeah. With that, I am okay, and I hope that it'll be okay when we play it, when we read it. People have said that it's good. It's a good experience regardless of what you choose in terms of translation, so we should be okay either way. I know where we are. This isn't actually spoilers for me. I can lurk. Okay! That's good. I hope that you've been enjoying reading Higurashi as well. It's good. Time zones and capitalism means I see less streamers that I enjoy. Yep. It's always frustrating when I know, like, for example, my model artist, Shirota, she streams at like my 10 p.m. and ideally I'd be asleep at 9 p.m. So it's always a little upsetting that I can't watch her streams as regularly anymore. Not during the week anyway. But it's okay. We will catch up with people during vacations or something. And maybe people move around the world, you know, they'll have different time zones. That'd be fun. I don't know. Time zones suck, but they're also kind of good at some points. Anyway, they're having a heart-to-heart, trying to get Rika to open up about her getting killed. Also, thank you for Zam for the 18 months? 17? Thank you! Old anime art slander. No, we're pro older anime styles. Hope you're doing good. Moving to a different continent so I can watch my favorite streamers more often. So real. Let me just move to North America real quick. If only. No, actually, I don't want to live in North America. Never mind. I didn't say that. I'm quite happy where I am. Thank you very much. Tadako pointed out something that I've already realized. I had no way to argue back.
リカちゃんは話せば巻き込まれるって言ったんだよね。
You told me that you'll put us in danger by talking to us. Don't move to NA. Yeah, I know. I've been warned before when I said that, and people were like, you don't wanna do that, and I know that I don't. I know. But all the cool people that I've gotten to know, or most of the cool people that I've gotten to know, live there. So it would be nice to go there to visit at least. I hope that you can have less work as time goes on, Zam. It sucks. Hope that you can relax a little bit more. You told me that you'll put us in danger by
リ
talking
カ
to
ちゃんが
us.
話さなくても私たちは巻き込まれる気でいるんだよ。
But all of us are already involved, no matter if you talk to us or not.
そうさ。
That's right.
俺たちは仲間で部活のメンバーなんだよ。
We're your friends.
リカちゃんの危機はメンバー全体の危機さ。
If you're in danger, all of us are in danger too.
かつて聡子が危機だった時もメンバー全体の危機として戦った。
When Satoko was in danger, we all fought for her, remember?
それと同じだよ。
It's the same thing.
命を狙われるとか物騒な話になれば ますます園崎家の出番だと思いますけれど。
If your life is in danger, then I think it's time for the Sonozaki family to step in.
それこそ物騒な
More
話に及ぶなら
protection.
警察より頼もしいですよ。
That'd be so funny if we got them in here too. We're way more reliable than the police.
ねおね。
Isn't that right, sis?
そうだよ。
That's right.
こういうことこそ相談してほしいね。
You have to talk to us.
何をトラブったの？
What kind of trouble are you in?
リカちゃんを殺すって脅迫するなんてとんでもない野郎だよ。
Who the hell is threatening to kill you? Kinda nice to see Mion be a little bit more upset. She usually doesn't have this kind of upset tone, and she doesn't usually swear. Just kinda nice to see.
まあリカちゃんの口の重さを見る限り心当たりがないのか薄いのかのどちらかだな。
Oh yeah, good luck, Sam. I wish you the best. But yeah, it's been going well. We've been crying, we've been laughing. It's good. Based on how you're acting, I assume you don't even know who it is.
相手が分かってりゃ楽な話なんだからな。
If you did know, it wouldn't be as big of a problem.
みんなは鋭いので、僕が何も話さなくても勝手に話が進んでしまうのです。
You're all so smart. You know everything, even though I haven't talked to you yet.
リカ、はぐらかさないでほしいですわよ。
This is not a time for jokes, Rika.
ちゃんとお話しなさいませ。
You must talk to us.
一体何があったんですの？
What's happened?
これはどういうことなんですの？
What's this all about?
警察が来るなんてよっぽどのことですのよ。
You don't call the police unless you're really in danger, no?
警察には話せて、どうして私たちには話してくれませんの？
How dare you talk to the police before talking to us?
私たちには話しにくい理由なの？
Is the cause something you're uncomfortable talking to us about? Yeah. I mean, she doesn't yet fully suspect the watchdogs, but she should tell someone that they're around so that they don't suspect that everyone around here is police, you know, just that they're safe and they know who is around here currently.
リカに話しにくいようなやましい理由なんてあるわけありませんでしたよ。
But Rika would never have any issues that would be uncomfortable to talk about.
落ち着けサトコ。
Calm down, Satoko.
リカちゃんはこう見えても御三家の当主なんだぞ。
Rika-chan is the leader of the Furuta family.
お社様の生まれ変わりなんて呼ばれて年寄り連中に盲信されてるんだ。
She's worshipped as the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama in this
俺た
village.
ちの想像のつかないところで何か厄介なことに巻き込まれていたということもあるかもしれない。
She might have been in trouble for a long time, even though we didn't know about it.
そういうごたごたをこれからこの村で楽しく過ごしていこうっていう俺たちに話したくなかったとか。
Maybe she just didn't want to talk to us about such trouble because we're all trying to have fun, a fun life here in this village.
そういうのじゃないのか。
That's probably what it was, right?
村とリカちゃまに関わるやばい話ですか。
So it has something to do with Rika-chama and the village?
となると、お社様を盲信する年寄り連中の絡みとしか思えません。
It must involve those crazy old people who worship Oyashiro-sama.
ってことは、時期的に考えて、お社様のたたり関係か。
So it must have something to do with the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Well, in a way it does. She had a description of that one dude having an evil glint in his eye. Yeah, Okonogi. She was so nerfed by that already, she took steps to obfuscate reasons as to why she got police security. Yeah, she is suspicious of them, but I don't think she's like 100% convinced yet. She also got police security because she thought more couldn't hurt, you know? But I don't think she fully trusts them. Otherwise, she wouldn't have called the police to begin with.
あれだ。
I
富
know.
武さんと高野さんが殺された件絡みじゃないかな。
I bet it's related to what happened to Tomitaka-san and Takano-san.
どうして富武さんたちが殺された事件がリカちゃんに関連してリカちゃんが命を狙われなくちゃならないの？
Why would Tomitaka-san's murder cause Rika-chan's life to be in danger?
話が突飛すぎるよ。
That's too big a leap.
命が狙われてるって時点で十分話がぶっ飛んでる。
It's crazy just to think that someone is trying to kill her anyway. I mean, yeah, she's like literally 10.
俺たちが普段知る以上のしがらみがリカちゃんにあってそれを話せないってことなんだろうな。
Rika-chan is bound by more obligations than we know, and she probably couldn't talk about them.
ビンゴだろ。
I'm right, aren't
あ
I?
まり楽しい話じゃないから、むしろ仲間には話せないってんだろ。
It's not a very fun topic, which is why you couldn't tell your friends, right?
信じられないですわ。
I cannot believe this.
本当なんです、ノリカ。
Is it really true, Rika?
何か村とか富武さんたちの事件とかそういうのが関係していますの？
Is it really true that you're involved in Tomitaka-san's murder case? I remained silent, but with my mouth open. I hadn't answered any of their questions, but they continued to ask and had eventually hit the nail on the head. It was more surprising than anything. But then again, these are, after all, my beloved clubmates. My friends, even! I laughed once more. My issues and my secrets are so devastating to me, but they stopped sounding like such a big deal when everyone talked about them together. They knew exactly what was going on without me saying a word. In that moment, I realized just how powerless I am. I had to tip my hat to them. Everything seemed so foolish now. And so, I decided to just tell them everything.
話せと言うなら話しますです。
If you want me to talk, I will.
でもどうせ信じられませんのです。
But I'm sure you won't believe me.
信じるさ。
We will.
リカちゃんが真実を語る限り、俺たちは疑わない。
As long as you tell us the truth, we'll never doubt it. Everyone's expressions turned grave as they vowed not to make light of anything I told them. And so, I'm going to tell them everything. I want to see if they really will believe me or
な
not.
ら話します。
In that case, I'll tell you.
多分私は富武と高野を殺した犯人に狙われています。
I think I'm being targeted by the same people who killed Tomitake and Takano.
ってことは、それって連続開始事件の真犯人ってこと？
But they're my friends is a line that produces such different feelings here compared to chapter 1. Oh, yes. I still remember how I was so confused about what was actually going on in chapter 1. I mean, as you were supposed to be. I was just kind of like, oh my god, what is happening? There's all these weird things happening, and I didn't even think about, you know, them being friends and them being supposed to trust each other and talking to each other. And then eventually it just clicked, and I was like, this is just about friendship. We need to all stick together. It's so important. But yeah, it's so much has changed. It's so different now. Then, are they the true culprit behind the series of mysterious deaths?
それはわかりません。
I don't know about
で
that.
すがその可能性もあります。
But it is possible.
意味がわかりづらいですわね。
I don't understand.
どうして富武さんや高野さんを殺した人がさらにリカも殺さないといけませんの？
Why would Tomitake-san and Takano's murderer also want to kill Rika? Oishi thinks Takano is the culprit. Okonogi thinks that Iri is the culprit. Either way, it sounds like someone from Tokyo is trying to kill me. I can't tell if it's Takano or Irie, but I do know that to them, I'm like a trump card. In order to explain everything, I need to talk to them about the relationship between Hinamizawa, Tokyo, and the Irie clinic. I don't think they'll believe me. It's such a ridiculous story. But who would ever believe it if not my friends?
話せばみんな巻き込まれますです。
You'll all be in danger if I talk to you about this.
いいのですか？
Are you sure you still want to hear it?
いいに決まってるぜ。
Of course.
リカちゃんが巻き込まれた時点で、すでに俺たちも巻き込まれているんだからな。
If you're in danger, we're in danger. Everyone nodded at Keiichi's words.
では話しますです。
Well then. Let's go! Friendship is magic. Friendship is magic. There is magic in this game, and it's called friendship. Alright, there's gonna be an ad in 5 minutes. So I'm gonna take it now. And then maybe we can get to the next place where we can maybe do like a little cut to end for today. Because I only have like 40 minutes left before I need to go. So we'll see how far we get. I'm gonna stop yapping. I'm gonna start the ads now, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Let's go for the final stretch. And we'll see how far we get. If we can't finish it today, I want to say that I will try my best to do it tomorrow. But I do have 2 appointments tomorrow after work, so it's looking highly unlikely. And if I do stream, it's going to be very late, and then I don't know if I can finish it still. But we will see. Anyway, I'm going to see how everyone reacts. I'm going to ascertain what friendship is all about. I'm going to also raise the volume. With a nod of my own, I opened my mouth and began to explain.
ひなみ沢にはある特別な病気があるのです。
There's a disease unique to
そ
Hinamizawa.
の病気の名前は仮なのか正式なのかわかりませんですが、ひなみ沢症候群と呼ばれていますです。
I'm not sure what it's officially called, but I've always known it as Hinamizawa syndrome. Everyone glanced back and forth at each other when I mentioned the term. They'd never heard of it before. The name Hinamizawa syndrome has actually been around since before the war. It's the general term for the severe homesickness and mental instability that people from Hinamizawa experience when outside of the village. People in Hinamizawa have refused to leave the village since the era of Onigafuchi. The villagers believed that they'd be cursed by Oyashiro-sama if they left, and people who did often came back because of that curse. In general, it used to be thought of as only severe homesickness, but during the war, soldiers from Hinamizawa became mentally deranged in faraway places. That does sometimes happen in war. What was unique about the soldiers from Hinamizawa was the way that they killed their own comrades and committed suicide at the end. One doctor became curious about these cases and studied those soldiers. That's when they found out that it was actually a disease only found in Hinamizawa. According to this doctor, their strange behavior was not the result of their culture. It was a mental disease triggered by external circumstances. A mental disease with an external cause is different from a psychological illness, goodness. It's the result of some kind of physical disorder, and it causes people to become mentally unstable when something triggers it. There are 3 categories of externally caused mental diseases: traumatically induced, substance abuse induced, and chemical imbalance induced. Traumatically induced disorders are cases resulting from damage to the brain from trauma or infection that influences the mind. This is the reason personalities can change as a result of head injuries. Substance abuse, as the name suggests, refers to cases where drugs, especially alcohol or stimulants, have influenced the mind. The last category is chemical imbalances. These are cases where some ailment in the patient's body causes abnormal secretions of bodily chemicals which then influence the brain's functions. This may sound odd, but it's been said that people tend to become depressed when they have a cold. We've all experienced the ways in which physical sickness can cause a buildup of negative emotions. However, with chemical imbalances, the cause is more direct. People's emotions aren't born from our hearts. Everyone should know, logically, that they're a result of chemicals secreted by the organs in our body as necessary. So when the organs operating the secretion of those emotional controllers malfunction, it causes them to secrete abnormal amounts. The thyroid gland, for example, secretes hormones that regulate emotions. When that gland is defective, the balance of those hormones becomes unstable. This can cause people to not have only physical sickness, but also a mental sickness such as depression. People don't get mentally ill just because of mental problems. Human beings are made out of meat. You get mentally ill when that meat is defective. The doctor studying Hinamizawa syndrome also came up with a theory. He suggested that there is a pathogen endemic to Hinamizawa that, if it hosts strayed too far from home, affects the chemicals in their brain and causes them to hallucinate. The villagers' belief in Oyashiro-sama is certainly related to this endemic disease. People in Onigafuchi village knew about the syndrome. They knew that they couldn't survive outside the village. They also didn't want anyone else to enter the village because they would get infected too. They took this disease as a curse, not a sickness. The most significant symptoms of this disease are antisocial behavior and an extreme persecution complex. The eventual suicide caused by defects in the lymph nodes are also another unique characteristic. The unusual behavior of terminal patients is what inspired the legend of the demons coming out of the swamp and attacking the villagers. Basically, sick villagers developed severe persecution complexes and wound up killing other villagers. That's I mean, we knew this, but it's kind of sickening to hear it all again and to see to what extent it actually happened. After a long time, survivors of the disease started to comprehend its rules. They discovered that the disease is uncurable once you contract it. That's why they started barring outsiders from entering the village. Also, once you become ill, you will begin developing a persecution complex. This can happen to anyone in the village. The doctrine of Oyashiro-sama says that the blood of humans and demons was mixed together, and that Oyashiro-sama has control over the violent blood of the demons. People said that you'd be cursed if you didn't follow Oyashiro-sama's rules. That could also be understood to mean as long as you followed Oyashiro-sama's rules, you could cope with this endemic disease. This is what was meant by the scripture in Oyashiro-sama's legend that said they appeared unified as humans and demons and made them live together in this village. Then there was the most important part, the rules to prevent symptoms from appearing. Those rules are the taboos, and people were strictly taught that Oyashiro-sama would curse them if they broke those rules. The horrible, bloody traditions of the village were probably performed in order to force people to respect these taboos. There are several ways to keep the disease under control, but there are two main conditions for doing so. The first one is to prevent suspicion. When the villagers are suspicious of someone, it can trigger their persecution complex, which can lead them to developing terminal symptoms. That's why they made sure to have such a tightly knit community, so that people wouldn't suspect each other. Since the terror of Oyashiro-sama's curse is emphasized, many don't know this, but she's also a god of marriage and neighborly love. However, this condition is not as important as the other one. Indeed, Oyashiro-sama isn't even recognized as a god of friendship in Hinamizawa anymore, and is only worshipped as such in Okinomiya's Hirasaka district. Now, for the other condition. This one is much clearer and was practiced more strictly. If villagers leave Hinamizawa, they will fall ill quickly, proportional to the distance from the village. Villagers nowadays will not get sick as rapidly, even if they leave town or even go out of the country for a long time. However, long ago, they would fall ill as soon as they left the village. It's very unfortunate that Keiichi got infected so soon after he moved to the village. It was also very unfortunate that he got sick just because he left the village for a few days to go to his relative's funeral in that one world. Yes, okay, I didn't even remember the funeral anymore. But yes, he did. I remember, yeah, it was in Onikakushi. He left and then he came back. And then Rena was in front of his house the next day and they were talking and going to school. That's how we originally met Rena and how Keiichi was technically officially introduced to us. I do remember now. He was gone. God of friendship. It's kind of sad to think that Hanyu is only remembered as the former part, you know, the whole demons and whatnot thing. That's why Hanyu felt so bad for him that time and kept on apologizing over and over. That was Hanyu? Oh my god! That was Hanyu! I thought he was just remembering bits and pieces from like Rena apologizing to him over and over again. Because like, that was the only person that we've heard apologizing over and over. But I guess it hadn't happened there yet. We just assumed that it maybe had happened a different time before. Okay, so it was Hanyu. Interesting. Although, no matter how much he apologized, he never heard her voice. He did. This turned into a long discussion, but these rules etched around Oyashiro-sama's curse represent the ancient wisdom of how to cope with the Hinamizawa syndrome.
A body has been discovered!
Hello, Suzu. Is there any way to use this mental disease for military purposes? The aforementioned doctor insisted there was, but the military didn't listen to him at all at the time. They were interested in developing a weapon that could make a dramatic change to the war efforts. They didn't have any money to spare for the research of this strange disease. In this way, research on Hinamizawa syndrome was abandoned. Then the war ended. Japan started its reconstruction under American leadership. However, some powerful people in the political world didn't want to accept the American way of thinking. Some of them were fired by the GHQ, but they still stayed on as advisors to the government since Japan has a culture of respecting the elderly. I'm doing good. Hope you're also doing good, Suzu. Eventually, a political organization was formed, the object of which was to restore Japan to the way it was before the war. In the beginning, this organization was a very small group. It was just a gathering of 2 or 3 individuals who shared the same ideals blowing hot air at a restaurant. Those 2 or 3 hit it off with each other and grew to the size of a class reunion. That group became a rather sizable organization, eventually becoming a political one. Well, it would be more accurate to call them a secret society. This secret society eventually came to be called the name of the place where it was based, Tokyo. There are many mysteries about Tokyo. One thing I knew for sure is that it was composed of old men from Japan's political stage, ones with strong power to indirectly influence the government, and vast assets that meant they could work from the shadows. They were also connected to various corporations, and their goal was to return Japan to the way it was before the war. Maybe at one point during Rena's life, Hanyu also apologized to her, and Rena heard it, remembered that she was gonna go from Hinamizawa for a long time. And then Rena picked up the same way of apologizing that Hanyu had. Could be true. It's not too far-fetched. I think that could definitely be true, especially since it's so similar, you know? It was just apologizing over and over and over again. And I think, you know, since we only know of one person who's definitely done it before, it would make sense that she may have gotten it from, you know, the other person who also does it. Of course, that was a pretty ridiculous goal. It was nothing more than an idea in their minds immediately after the war, back when they were still bowing their heads to the occupation forces of those white barbarians. Once Japan's post-war reconstruction began, Tokyo steadily became a shell of its former self. But it didn't totally become a shell. It cult? The fat. Japan regained its peace, and years passed. However, some people still continued to believe that Japan had been better before the war, and they were determined to return the country to those times. So this Tokyo plotted how to restore pre-war Japan from many angles. He approached the problem economically, internationally, and militarily as well. Japan has no nuclear armaments due to the 3 non-nuclear principles. In other words, this country has to brown-nose America as long as they hold nuclear weapons. The number 1 priority of Tokyo is to be independent from America. I'm sorry. Is brown-nose... is that referring to, like, being up someone's ass? I was like trying to figure out in my mind what this exactly meant because I've never heard this term being used before, but in the context, it just kind of means buttering them up and being friendly with them. Basically, going up their ass. Right? The number 1 priority of Tokyo is to be independent from America. They want this country to be on equal footing and to obtain a weapon of mass destruction that isn't nuclear in nature. That was the reason why they started thinking about utilizing Hinamizawa syndrome. Okay, yes, okay. A butt kisser. Okay, understand. Thank you. However, they couldn't study this disease openly. In order to utilize it for military purposes, they had to hide the existence of the disease itself. I'm kinda thrown off by him just popping up. Hello, Irie. So they enlisted one young researcher, Kyosuke Irie. I need to make it clear that Irie isn't some far-right supporter of the secret society. He's just a young, capable doctor and an earnest researcher. He published an innovative thesis, but other academics thought he was too radical. However, that convinced Tokyo that he was the only researcher suitable to study Hinamizawa syndrome. Someone young and ambitious, Irie was thrilled to take on the project of studying this rare disease with a large budget, a large staff, and his own facility. But researching the disease would mean that he'd end up infected too. No one would want to take on such a dangerous research. He really was too young. The smile too, yeah. It was just kind of, I don't know, shocking in the moment. This is still the same chapter. It's not a tip. It's Rika explaining what is going on to her friends, to the gang. With his other option being wearing down his youth working hard at the night shift for a local practice, he wanted to answer the expectations of the sponsor who carefully selected him. In the end, Irie was able to uncover that, as hypothesized, the Hinamizawa syndrome was a unique infectious disease, and he developed both a treatment and a vaccine. Irie was extremely talented. The Irie Institute was formed to study the disease. So, a treatment and a vaccine. But how did... He must have also created the... What was it, like H100? I don't know. I don't know what the syringe, the treatment that they, quote-unquote treatment that they gave Tomitaka was H something. He must have then also developed that too. Thank you for the hydrate. Good thinking, Amaris. H137. Something like that. I think you're right. He must have then also developed that, right? If he's the only, kind of the only researcher, or the main researcher, then it must mean that he also made the, I don't know, the weapon, I guess, is what would be most fitting, since it's not something that helps anyone. Except for crazy political people. The Irie Institute was formed to study the disease. Irie was nominally the head of the organization, but Tokyo still sent out a supervisor, because when all was said and done, he was just a researcher. Takano. That supervisor was Mio Takano. Takano's job at the Institute was to act as a go-between for Tokyo and Irie, manage the research progress, and preserve its secrecy. The latter was the most important part of her job. She had to do her best to prevent people from finding out that Irie was researching the disease, or even that the disease existed at all. The mountain dogs were formed for that purpose. They were under Takano's command, and their job is to prevent the Institute's secrets from being discovered. The mountain dogs are one special force unit specializing in unconventional warfare and owned by Tokyo and its vast influence on the SDF. Tokyo had set their eyes on the likelihood that a small elite squad of covert operatives would be a trump card in the anti-nuke era. So they vigorously investigated those options. This was a worldwide trend since the Cold War. Everyone avoided sending troops directly to their enemy's doorstep. Japan was also trying to be a part of that world. As a result, by 1983, even the police have been forming secret special forces units. Prefectural Police Squad 2, the ones who intervened when Rena laid siege to her school, changed their name to Zero Company and grew into an anti-terrorism squad that handled hijackings around the Kansai airport area. Interesting. I just stopped watching for a bit, so I wanted to ask, how does Rika know this? I mean, I guess looping for over 100 years will, you know, net you some information. And they also included her in, like, the research and everything. She, like, talked openly to Okanogi and Irie, so she knows about this. I'm assuming that they told her at some point, because they're also researching her. Because she's affected by the disease? Exactly how Sadako's also affected. So maybe they just volunteered for it and they, you know, they know about it. Except for Sadako doesn't really know about it. She just knows that she's being treated for some kind of disease. Seeing everyone just pop up smiling sure is something. It's a little jarring. But yeah, they do know that she knows. So it's not just, you know, information collected over the past 100 years, but she also has talked to them in this specific timeline. I like how this is giving a lot more detail on the workings of Tokyo than the anime ever did. Yeah, it was very lacking in that term. I don't think I ever truly finished it, or maybe my 14-year-old ass didn't understand anything. But I don't remember any of this, like, at all. This is all news to me. So either I didn't finish it or I was simply too stupid to understand what was going on. But I do remember that a big focus was just the horror of it all. And that is mainly what I watched it for too. So, yeah. The National Police Agency Squad 6 was formed as a counterterrorism squad for Narita Airport 2. And they later changed their name to 7th Company as well. Why 7th? If it's Squad 6, whatever. They theorized that in a world where nations possess nukes they can't use, small elite special forces disrupting metropolitan areas would be the new way of waging war. So in 1977 they developed the SAT's predecessor, the Special Task Force SAP, to serve as the National Police Agency's trump card in securing the peace. Likewise, the Japan Coast Guard established their Special Task Force, the SST, in anticipation of unconventional warfare on the coast. There are several known special forces units in Japan. When they hear a phrase like special forces, most people tend to think of a movie or comic book. However, these units actually exist and are protecting Japan in secret. During the famous incident of suspicious boats off the coast of Noto Peninsula, the news reported that the helicopter squad trained in gun battles was headed there, but was recalled because the suspicious boat sank. But that was because the Coast Guard's SST acted. This is a lot of information. The long-running political group is creating a bioweapon. Idiot pops up smiling. It's really good. SAT? I took that test in high school. That was also my first thought. It is kind of interesting. Like, Rikishi goes into a lot of detail here. I am personally not into this at all. Like, I don't know anything about these kinds of things. I'm very uninformed when it comes to this topic. So it's kind of interesting to read it. My brain is trying to wrap to understand the information and to like process it all. And it's a lot of information, but it's very interesting to me. I don't actually know what SAT stands for. They explained, what was it? SAP? But they didn't explain SAT, so I'm not sure what that means. I also don't know of that incident, so, no idea. Guess we have a lot of reading to do after this. Also, thank you for the headband, Noel. I mean, it's not necessarily painting a bad picture. It is kind of a fact that Japan is kind of, or was during that time, heavily under the influence of America. And they just wanted to break free from it. You know, they wanted to be independent and they wanted to have the opportunity to defend themselves. Because they didn't trust America, you know, it was kind of a difficult time. It was kind of an odd time where even now countries are not very understanding of each other. They don't really communicate that well. They don't really get along very well. People are suspicious of each other all the time. So it makes sense. And back then, I guess they just really wanted their independence. I'm actually not sure what the state is currently. I don't really keep up with this sort of stuff in too much detail. I know, like, very vague things, but I'm learning a lot of new things about Japan's history. Higu, Umineko, and Sikonia probably, especially since I know that game takes place in a post-war world or something. Yeah, I read that too. I'm very interested in reading that as well, even though there's only, like, what, one chapter out? Japan used to be a much more militaristic country, and now it's definitely not that. Yeah, I mean, it was like right after the war, you know, people or like countries were very afraid, you know, things were very scary. It was not a very good time to live in. There was a lot of fear-mongering and it was just too fresh. Nowadays, it's a little different. There's, of course, still war and fear-mongering and people are starting wars for no reason. But, you know, it's a different time. Orange Man wanting to take over Greenland is actually it's that guy. That fucking guy. He can explode for all I care. Like, actually, I just wish his toilet blows up while he's on it and he just dies. There's one chapter of Syconia out, and I think it came out in like 2019. I really hope that he ends up continuing it, because I would love to read it finished, you know? That'd be nice. However, the news never mentioned the SST or any other special forces unit. All of these units were established after Tokyo made a suggestion about it to the government. Researching military tactics under the name of peace and order worked perfectly for Tokyo. But since the mid-century anti-war movement made people resent those forces, these special units have been kept secret as of 1983. Furthermore, these units are not all formed under the jurisdiction of the police. There are still many other military units that are kept secret from the average citizen. The Mountain Dogs are actually one of those special units. They specialize in kidnapping, espionage, and preserving secrecy. You might as well call them an assassination unit. I mean, yes. It makes sense. Did you finish Minagoroshi already? This is the last chapter, I think. We're not done yet. Close, though. Close. I can feel it. Rika is just info dumping on us right now. Kind of crazy that Higurashi launched like 2 episodes of Ueneko per year for a bit. That's kind of impressive considering how much this guy writes. Like, that's a lot. Nowadays, I just kind of I'm upset at the fact that Severance is taking like 3 years to produce like a new season. I just kind of think it's funny that modern times we need fucking 3 years to produce 1 season with like 10 episodes of a show. But like fucking Higurashi was writing the Bible 2 times per year. I don't know. He is very wordy, and I like that. His work is great. Hope he chokes on his McDonald's meal. That's also a good way to go for him. I think that'd be fitting. These are the world's current state regarding wars and such, and I guess that's fair. Yeah, I can get that. I understand that. Maybe he'll work on it in the future. I do want to finish Minagoroshi this week. I don't know if I can tomorrow, but maybe Saturday. We'll see. Modern streaming shows need years to make shorter seasons. It's awful. Finally, someone understands. It's awful. What do you mean we need years to produce like 8 episodes? Like, huh? What is happening? Like, I can live with worse, okay, not worse quality in terms of like writing and stuff like that, but like, I don't know. It's the same like with games where, okay, I'm going way off topic here, but like games cost so much nowadays to produce because I think they have to be like top-notch quality. We need like 4K fucking real life details in video games, and that takes fucking 20 years to produce a game like that, and $20 billion. I don't know. Is that a high number? I don't know. And it's just crazy. It's the same with shows and stuff like that. They take so much money, and the production value is so high that it takes literal years for this stuff to be finished. It's insane. I know a lot of these shows have a lot of costumes and sets and special effects, but man, I wish we could get yearly seasons like we've done for most of history. Game of Thrones has yearly seasons. Yeah! It's just such a crazy time to live in. Like, we have shows like fucking Dexter with its billions of seasons, and they were all produced in a fairly short amount of time. Or like stuff like Scrubs that has also 1 billion seasons, all produced in a short amount of time. And I know those are not comparable with like more modern stuff where we have special effects and crazy sets and costumes and scripts that are the length of 1,000 books, but like still, I just think the standard for creating has gotten so insanely high that these production values and times have just gotten higher and higher and higher, that it's just so hard for them to keep up with it even. It's not sustainable, and it's honestly a little scary to think about. We can thank the industry for degrading the quality due to everyone being evil cheapskates that have bad contracts, which by effects fuck with healthy production. Yeah, that too. Like, people are not healthy in in like specific jobs and positions and like areas of work because of these extremely high demands and them just wanting to save as much money as possible while having insanely high quality and being unable to keep up with it because it's just unsustainable as hell. And that just hurts the workers especially. It's just insane! We are in an insane time! Stranger Things cost $400 million, and the last episode looks like that. Oh, please. It's insane. Like, I don't even want to know how. I don't actually know. How long did Stranger Things take to produce? Like, almost 10 years? Almost a decade? It's been a long time. And it costs that much money. And it's not bad, but it's like, I don't know. It also wasn't like the best thing I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? Like, they put so much money and time into that, and I don't know. It still isn't life-changing. You know what I mean? It's just, like, the script doesn't get any better just because you pour hundreds of millions of dollars into it. I also do not believe for a second that a good chunk of that actually goes into the actual productions. Yeah, I think... I don't know, man. It's just... kind of dystopian at this point. Like, it's nice that they're wanting to create something that is, like, visually and whatever else appealing, but it's... I just think it's kind of unsustainable in the long run, and that makes me a little bit sad. Because I find myself just longing for stuff that has been there for, like, centuries. Not centuries, but, like, multiple movies that I'm, like, craving to see, or, like, shows that I'm craving to see are, like, pretty old. And it's just because I just think that they're objectively better. And I think it's more important to have, like, a script, a story, or something else that makes it just so compelling and so interesting, compared to having it look a certain way or whatever. And if you have a story that you want to tell and you also want to make it look a certain way and that costs you money, then so be it. I don't know. But I feel like nowadays, everyone that has some kind of shitty-ass script wants to create the next thing that is going to cost them hundreds of millions of dollars for no reason. There's no use to make it that... There's no need to make it that expensive. You can just make something shitty out of your garage. And people will still like it if it's in any way good in terms of, like, what it's trying to tell. Like, that has been the case with the games. Look at these indie studios that, or like these one-people teams that create the next best game, and it's received super well. Like, even that is getting screwed. Like, indie studios nowadays have to they have to shell out so much money. It's, I don't know. It's becoming dystopian. Yeah, I would be interested in like seeing the graphs and whatnot, and like see how the money is being used, and like why it's costing this much, and like why it's taking so long, even though they're spending so much money on this stuff. I'd be interested in it, but I don't think that'll ever give it up. The Pit, and apparently it releases yearly, which they really like. The Pit. I've never heard of that. I'll actually write it down. I had my little crash out now. I'm sorry. I have recollected myself. This is a topic that I was crashing out about last night, actually. I was like, oh my god, why is it like this? And it's a fresh wound, okay? We're talking about military stuff. Let me drink something real quick. Alright. They were around during the dam conflict as well. Tokyo worked to put an end to the dam project because of the impact it would have on Iria's research. The Mountain Dogs were the ones who kidnapped the Minister of Construction's grandson. Most people believe that the Sonozaki family was at the center of the movement, but in reality, the Mountain Dogs were responsible for many of the things the Sonozakis were accused of. Oh, did they? Oh my god. Now I'm like curious. Did they kill that construction worker guy? In that sense, the existence of the Sonozaki family was an advantage to the dogs. Yeah, they could stay under the radar while the Sonozaki family took the fall. They didn't really take a fall, but they used it to be a little bit more, I don't know, dominating over Hinamizawa. Is that the right thing to say? They wanted to create fear surrounding their name. So they kind of worked together hand in hand without noticing it. I think of it, it would be more interesting if the Sonozakis had the skeletons in their closet. It would be kind of interesting to see them actually be the villains, but it's also nice to know that they aren't. I don't know. I guess it's nice knowing that Mion and Shion aren't actually covering up some insane shady family business. Oh yeah, you did mention that by his own colleagues. Could have been, you know, Mountain Dogs undercover, but maybe that's too far-fetched. Their main job after the dam conflict ended has been to continue keeping the disease hidden from the public. With the spread of information networks in the modern age, the media jumped onto an unusual incident and quickly aired it into the whole nation. Tokyo doesn't want the disease to be known nationwide, since they're trying to utilize it for their own purposes. The main task of the Mountain Dogs is to kidnap people suffering from Hinamizawa syndrome. Kidnap? So, Satoshi was just kidnapped by them? Is that what I'm understanding here? Yes? They pose as gardeners, but in actuality, they patrol the village to make sure nothing strange happens. They're the ones who demon away people who go missing. Satoshi, no! They're probably also involved in some mysterious deaths too. Maybe they really did experiment on him. Oh my god. Tomitake in his uniform jump scare. The last important person is Jiro Tomitake. I don't know his real name. He was an auditor who was sent from Tokyo 4 times a year. He came to check on the progress of the research and outline requests from Tokyo. He discussed the research budget with Iria too. The oh my god, I cannot speak. White van. German. The Chase Keiichi, yeah. And Rena too. Who is this man? I'm not used to seeing him like that. He looks so different. The wide WAN. The wide area network. Goodness. He came to check on the progress of the research and outline requests from Tokyo. He discussed the research budget with Iria too. He also got the observation report on Iria from Takano. Observation report? I mean, yeah, okay. She was there to observe him, and it's still kind of crazy that she wrote reports on him. That was his purpose. Iria started out by studying the autopsy results of dead villagers, and he discovered many answers from that. In 1979, the Mountain Dogs kidnapped the culprit behind the murder of the construction chief, who was a terminal patient of Hinamizawa syndrome. The nature of the disease was dramatically clarified. So the one guy who was like behind the plan to like kill this guy, dramatically clarified. What do they mean by that? The nature of the disease was dramatically clarified? The research made rapid progress after that, and they discovered a vaccine, medication, and other methods of treatment for the disease. At the same time, they continued to investigate how to utilize it for military purposes. I don't know if Iria was aware of that. Maybe he was, but then later they were like, oh, this is maybe a little too far and we should destroy it all. Poor bastard absolutely played like a fiddle. Poor guy. Iria and Tomitake both. Yeah, he was like the guy who I think you know, got the other people to also, like, have the individual body parts. Oishi's mahjong buddy. He will be dearly missed. One of the other interesting finds of the research was that the pathogen can only be found when the patient is still alive. On top of that, they couldn't detect the presence of the pathogen at all unless they used a certain inhumane method. In other words, it's virtually impossible to detect the pathogen by normal means. It left almost no trace, and the unusual symptoms it produced seemed like voluntary behavior, so they concluded that the disease could be used to their advantage. However, Tokyo has been going through some changes. It's been almost 50 years since the war ended. The leaders and shadows behind Japan's government who ruled from the center of Tokyo began growing infirm and opening up seats, steadily passing their leadership to the new generation. The whole organization has started to shift. Of course, the purpose of Tokyo has stayed the same. It's still a secret society of ultra-nationalists who want Japan to be at the top of the world. However, their ambition to start a war with America and take over the world has diminished. Tokyo has directed its priorities towards the economy, international affairs, and education. Whew. Education? That organization? I don't know, man. That doesn't mean that those ambitions are gone entirely, however. Several seniors still alive retain those ambitions. Tokyo continues to finance military research. But for the present-day Tokyo, EDS research is actually something of an embarrassment. The new Tokyo is no longer interested in his project, and they announced that they're going to cut their budget as soon as those seniors pass away. However, Irie objected to that plan. He strongly appealed for the continuation of his research. This is what Okonogi was talking about. Irie is in disagreement with Tokyo. I see. I'm surprised that even though it's only a few seniors, they are letting this, you know, happen still. I mean, they're trying to cut it off. They're trying to, like, reduce budgets as much as possible to, like, cancel the research completely. Which is interesting because, I don't know, it's just so, like, several seniors just sound so insignificant, but it's enough to keep the research going for now. Until now, anyway. This is what Okonogi was talking about. Irie is in disagreement with Tokyo. Irie's research has been making great progress. They've discovered various treatment and testing methods, and he's even starting to develop a treatment plan for the whole village. If they cut his funding, Irie's research would end without any results. Tokyo had a discussion with Irie through Tomitake, and they decided to shut down his research partially, but not fully. However, they told him to immediately stop researching military applications of the disease and destroy all the research data related to that. Makes sense. It's kind of fucked up. They're all like, what the hell? The fact that no one is interrupting her is kind of funny. I mean, as far as we know. She's just rattling on about this. And they're taking it all in, just as we are. He had little interest in weaponizing the disease anyway, so Irie accepted those terms right away. Tokyo probably believed that it was better to let him find a cure for the disease than to terminate the project entirely. Good thinking. Smart. Nice, even. At this point, Irie considers himself one of the villagers. Perhaps exterminating the disease infecting the villagers without their knowledge is his way of atoning for using the village to advance his research and reputation. Both Tokyo and Irie agreed to fully terminate his research as soon as he discovered a way to completely eradicate Hinamizawa syndrome. Irie made a plan for the next 3 years, and he promised them that he would find a resolution by 1986 at the latest. The meeting they had this June was to discuss the plan and budget for the next 3 years. Well, I guess that's not happening anymore. They're staring at her like SpongeBob and Patrick in that one scene. I think I know which one you mean. Yeah, this must be a little crazy to them, but she's explaining it in so much detail that they must be believing her somehow, you know? She hasn't mentioned that she's been alive for several hundreds of years, so it's still kind of credible in a way. Iri actually found a catastrophic way to potentially what? The disease? Like, set it off? Is that what you mean? Which brings us back to the beginning. One theory goes that Iri is in opposition with Tokyo, and as his trump card, he's planning to kill Rika Furude. She still hasn't explained her exact role in this. We know that she's being experimented on, but we don't know to what extent. The other theory is that Takano killed Tomitake, and as her trump card, she's going to kill Rika Furude. I suppose I need to explain why Rika Furude can be a trump card. Okay. As much as I love to keep reading this, I'm actually like 12 minutes past where I was supposed to already end. So I unfortunately have to end it here. Oh, this is a very awful spot to end it actually. Maybe I should have ended it before she started to explain all of this. But I did enjoy reading this, so I don't regret it too much anyway. Yeah, as I said, I don't know if I'll be able to keep reading tomorrow as I have 2 appointments after work. But I will try. If not, I'll try to like slot it in on Saturday. So that we can at least finish the chapter. That would be nice. I don't know how much longer it is. Since it's the last one, I actually think it's gonna be very long. But I don't know yet. We will just have to see how it goes. Maybe we can't even finish it this week. Weaponize. Okay, I see. Thank you for the stream. Rest well. Thank you! I hope that everyone can rest well after this. It was a little bit information overload. So this is maybe nice to keep for next time anyway, because I need to process everything that she just said, even though we knew a lot of it already. I kind of want to know what experiments they did, and if they experimented on Satoshi too, and if he's potentially alive even. I doubt it, but it would be cool to know. Let me see. Who can we rate today? We have Skip, who is playing Hightail. I looked it up earlier, and it looked like it was kind of Minecraft, but not Minecraft. So I guess we'll just find out what it is. It looks very Minecrafty, but it's not all just blocks. But yeah, thank you for joining me today. It was very fun. I am very happy with the amount of progress that we're making. We're gonna be able to finish Higurashi soon, and it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be a good feeling when we finally do. But yeah, I hope everyone has a good rest of their day. I will see you either tomorrow or Friday at the latest for, what was it, Silksong? Yeah, but we'll keep playing this sometime this week. I just don't know when. But yeah, thanks for being here. Have a good time zone, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.